Used to think the world was flat, really threw my hat into the crowd. I felt I had used up my quota of yearning. Used to looking on the children at night.
Namaste, fam. Welcome to Fearlessly Authentic. Oops. Oops. I was on. I was on the phone too. So tonight we are gonna have Yona in with us. Super excited. Yona is always dropping a bunch of truth on us. So I'm gonna bring him in and let him say hi to everybody. Hi, Yona. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Just
Good.
over here jamming out a little bit.
I just wanted to give you a chance to say hi to everybody and introduce yourself and tell them where they can find you. Otherwise,
Well, let's see. I've got a Twitter and a Facebook. You'll find me on Twitter under Yona Aniwodi, uh, just like it's spelled down there. Um, just kind of slowly coming out of my turtle shell, trying to, bring more of a message of optimism. And I just see so much suffering, and I know a lot of people are craving for truth and knowledge, and I feel like slowly but surely we're all coalescing together with a common spirit and a common heart, because there are a lot of good people out there on the winning side, on the good team. Um, and we all care so much, and we're always trying to inform ourselves and trying to reach out to other people. And it's a struggle, but at the same time, it's good to renew our own spirits and realize that we're not alone and that there is a fellowship of this common spirit. And one focus I want to take it to today um, is really this: seeing so many different prophecies come to fruition, which are good prophecies, like the rainbow prophecy of the Hopi, and many prophecies of Tashunka Woodco, Crazy Horse, and others. But I guess a little bit about me. I normally don't really like to toot my own horn, but let's see here. I was born in Fairfax County, Virginia. There, right off the Beltway, Fairfax County Hospital, a long time ago, back when Richard Nixon was president. So that kind of gives it away. Turns out he was a crook. He resigned right after his vice president, Spiro Agnew, resigned. But that's ancient history at this point. Let's see. When I was not even 1 year old, we moved up to a place called Grosse Pointe, which is the gated community north of Detroit, Michigan, in lovely Wayne County. And then when it's about 3, we moved back home to Kentucky. Yeah, that was a rough stretch there. But after school with the Catholic upbringing, I went to a seminary school at St. Monrad, which is in Indiana. And then I went off to the Army after a year, because after studying Martin Luther and, going to powwows and everything, family, I might ask why I went to a Catholic seminary, but, I've always had a very deep interest in theology and metaphysics and philosophy and, logic and rhetoric and stuff, having read the great books. So that's why I went, and it was a good education, made good friends, but obviously had no intention of a life of chastity, blessed with many children. Um, so I ended up wanting to study more and more languages. That's one thing I've done a lot in my life. Let's see, I first went to college at Western Kentucky University in 1986 between 6th and 7th grade. And that's when I first started formal training in other languages, because I informally had learned quite a bit of French and German and Japanese from both my parents and my Aunt Fumi. Uh, may she rest in peace. My Aunt Fumi from Japan, who was always my babysitter. And anyways, I ended up studying French at Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green, which is where the infamous Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky now lives, perchance at home of the Hilltoppers. Um, right by Mammoth Cave is where they make the Corvettes. But then I went to St. Meinrad and studied more French and Italian. And then the Army recruiter came down to the farm when our family farm was being sold and split up. It was a very traumatic time. So seeing all that sold away, I was in a vulnerable moment. I thought, why not? So I decided to be all I could be, and I joined the Army, and I got to learn Arabic. That's the language that was picked out for me when I got to Monterey, California at Defense Language Institute, Foreign Language Center, Presidio of Monterey, by beautiful Cannery Row and Pacific Grove and all that stuff. They had this big Pro-Am celebrity golf tournament there at Pebble Beach every year. I got to go do that one year when I was stationed there. But anyhow, yeah, so after my stint in the Army, the months seemed like years. When I finally got out, I went back to college at the University of Kentucky, which was a great full semester of partying, which I flunked out. Yeah, great parties, though. So I transferred to St. Catherine's, got my act together, graduated Phi Theta Kappa, and got my degree to be a language teacher. But I was raised in a family business of land surveying and civil engineering. So at the age of 7, I was apprenticed to my grandfather, a master surveyor. So in the year of 1981, I began my formal training as an apprentice to a master surveyor in the method of colonial land surveying. In 1981, we still used open-faced Jacob Staff colonial compass, as well as we had a K&E compass transit, and we still chained on the ground. And we still did all of our drafting of maps by hand on a drafting table, making plat maps and whatnot for recording in the courthouse with other deeds and title instruments. And then through my life, I've watched everything come in. We got the Osborne computer, then the Apple IIe, and went from daisy wheel pen plotter to all these expensive HP inkjet and desk jets. So I've kind of grown up in my working life with computing, as it's immediately had application for civil engineering and land surveying. People that are familiar with computer software in the engineering field may be familiar with Carlson Software out of Maysville, Kentucky. Well, Anselmo and Associates, that's my government name, and we are customer, I think our customer number is 87. Because I can remember when Bruce Carlson came to our little office trailer where we did all of our engineering and surveying work, and would personally get on our computer with new 5 1/4 floppy disks and personally debugging our Carlson Surveyor 1 copyright 1987 software. But they're a huge international software company now. But anyways, and then we got the Autodesk computer-aided design drafting software, AutoCAD, and all that stuff. So, going to all that. But I mean, still, whenever I go into the field to do land surveying, I'm always thinking in terms of, how many square chains, how many poles, and, because if you think in terms of a colonial land surveyor, in terms of chains, poles, and links, then acreage makes sense. 10 square chains is an acre. So, 1 chain by 10 chains is 1 acre. It's simple math. But, if you want to break it down to feet, that's 43,560 square feet, or it would be roughly 209 feet, or 208.71 feet in a perfect square. So yeah, it's really gets ugly when you go to feet and inches. But if you've ever had much to do with real estate, you'll note that all deeds, when you go back far enough, the distances are not in feet. The distances are in rods or poles or chains. Um, a rod or a pole, which are the same thing, is simply a quarter of a chain, or 16 and a half feet. A chain is 66 feet. But anyways, land surveying and engineering. So when I got my college degree, at that point I already had my professional surveyor's license. So I assumed the practice of land surveying because unfortunately my father at that time had just passed away. He passed away just in August, September. Literally 60 days before I got my license. And gosh, let's see. Reed Spalding, Sam Probus, Sam Anselmo, Jeff Stevens. There's like 5 or 6 land surveyors that I've worked with throughout my career, and they're all gone. Really haven't done much surveying since 2008, but I don't know. I guess that's enough of a biography. Really, the only other thing I think that would be of note would be I really took, I guess, my first venture outside of my own comfort zone, out of my own close network of friends and family, is when I just took it upon myself to go downtown and join the protest in front of the Chase Bank in downtown Huntington, West Virginia, because the students at Marshall University in Huntington, they started an Occupy Wall Street solidarity occupation it was about 9 or 10 days after the first one had been started in New York City at the Zuccotti Park. And so about 2 or 3 days into the occupation in Huntington, I went down there and started going down there regularly. In fact, about a week into it, after the press had come down there, the local TV stations, 2 of them had come down there and interviewed people at the Occupy camp. And finally, when the main channel came down there for the NBC, WSAZ, literally 15 minutes before they show up, people drive down the streets. They threw a pipe through the back of my family van that had baby seats in it. That was nice, busting out the back glass. And then literally within 2 minutes after that, pulling up in a vacant lot across the street are all these counter protesters with Trump signs, and they're all yelling across the street at us, get a job and take a bath, take a shower. And then the WSAZ, as soon as they were all, done taking their brand new banners out of cardboard boxes and everything, I don't know which 501c3 provided them with those materials, but it's like it was the Marshall University Young Republicans Club or something like that. I don't know. They got a million fraternities over there too, but just a little idiot squad, about 20 trust fund babies. Really, I mean, what they were parking in that parking lot was nice. So they come across the street, right down on our side of the sidewalk, and as soon as they're all together, it's right on time for the 6 o'clock news. They turn on the lights. They do their thing on their counter protest. And then when they're done, they come back over like, okay, are you guys going to interview us? And they all just get in their van and leave. So they never and then the government federal agents come in, they're like trying to look all like nonchalant. It's like, oh wow, who invited the OnlyFans? Oh god. And then the adjunct provocateur reared his ugly head. Yeah, I'm gonna call him out by name. I remember that guy's name. His name was Corey Simmons. Yeah, he a bag of dicks, Corey Simmons. I seen him going from group to group to group, from Portsmouth occupied Wall Street to Ashland occupied Wall Street. And then here comes to Huntington Wall Street. And like we just gotten a letter from the Huntington Police Department Chief Skip Holbrook saying that, hey, all right, you guys have been out there for weeks and weeks and weeks. We've tolerated it. We've put up with it. And you've had enough time. So we're having the Christmas parade on December 6th at 6 p.m. And y'all need to be out of there by then. And this is like on December 3rd or something. So there was like a city hall meeting that night. So I went to the city hall meeting down on Fifth Avenue in the building there, and they're like, we need to clear them out now. It's a sanitation hazard. We've already got Bobcat ready to go to get rid of their kitchen facilities, and they don't have a, I'm like, oh man. So then I get tipped off from one of my homies, because I deliver food too, and one of my homies is like, hey man, I'm just letting you know, later on tonight, like probably about 3 o'clock in the morning, if I was you, I would probably just like go home. I'm just giving you the heads up, because I love you like I love you like beans like cornbread. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to see nothing bad happen to you. Oh, okay, well, thanks for the heads up. So immediately I go tell the General Assembly. I'm like, because hey, I'm a communicator spoke. I'm the one that's been doing the TV interviews and the radio, because when I was in college I did radio. So I don't care to go on the radio. And anyways, I tell him, look, man, we just need to get out of here. This Corey Simmons guy's like, oh man, we need to fight the police, man. We've all brought our black trench coats, man. Fuck them, man. I'm like, y'all can do whatever. I'm gonna tell everybody else. Listen here, we ain't rich. Most of us live paycheck to paycheck. We can't replace all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? We can't replace these books. We can't replace our library. We can't replace our kitchen materials and everything. So let's just pack it all up. You got to pick which hill to die on. We came here. Our beef is with Chase Bank. Our beef ain't with the police. Now, if you want to come back and beef with the police, that's fine. But that ain't why we're here. So pick and choose your battles. Let's get our shit and go. We'll leave a small contingent of 3 people to guard our American flag, and that's it. We won't do nothing else. So this Corey Simmons guy, well, we're coming back. I'm like, well, all right, man. Y'all do whatever, man. You and the rest of OnlyFans with your black socks and your beige khaki shorts in the middle of wintertime. Whatever, man. You and your 5 little buzzcut homies can do whatever. We're getting the fuck out of here. We done all we could. We made our statement. I don't see all of our shit get thrown away, because that's all they'll do. All right. So we leave just 3 people to guard the spot and our flag. Sure enough, 3 o'clock in the morning, boom! they got the mine-resistant armored personnel carrier. That's MRAP. You know what I'm saying? It's like Humvee, only worse. Okay, MRAPs. All dressed up in a black stormtrooper, like hundreds of them. There's 3 motherfuckers after the American flag. So what could they do? Well, they stole our flag. We fought for 3 weeks, and they finally gave us our flag back. So there you go. We win. Nobody got arrested. Nobody got hurt. Everybody listen to Yona. See? Be smart. Pick and choose your battles. And then it just fizzled out. People forget Obama just cracked down nationwide on that whole Occupy thing. He wasn't trying to hear that. Was it Cornel West that said Obama was the black mascot for Wall Street? I swear I heard Dr. Cornel West say that. Love him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I saw they denied him tenure at Harvard too. That was some bullshit.
Oh my God, that was insane.
You heard about that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was fucked up, Lucky.
Who covered that? Like, somebody covered that as a stream. I don't remember, but yeah.
Jimmy was talking to Cornell.
Maybe that's what it was.
Meanwhile, University of Arizona is not censuring Noam Chomsky for talking about, we got to take drastic measures. Got to separate these people, make it hard on them.
Yeah, he could be a
Yeah,
Nazi.
man. How are you going to be co-author in manufacture consent with Ed Herman and now manufacture consent? What the fuck is going on, man? It's like Steve Poikonen says, man, we're living in a fucking cartoon.
I call him Steve Pokemon.
Yeah.
It kind of fits him, Leo,
Live mackerel straight to the face.
Live.
You gotta give Yona some love. Say
Yeah, I was thinking about you, Leo. I'm thinking of writing a song called Leo'd.
Are you gonna say
Leo the Chihuahuan Geode. He's crystal inside. Yeah. It's like wavy gravy glide. Ooh. When you're caught in a rainbow and you just turn every color like a lava lamp.
Why is the camera doing that? It's like it's not focusing properly.
I don't know.
It's like it's doing that weird blurry background thing, like
I'm
Ron
all over the
Placone
place.
do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird.
Maybe.
I'm such a mess.
Maybe. I can change.
Wow, I can't believe what happened today. Like, I thought normally my schedule, I just work the night shift, and I'm used to the night shift 4 to close or 5 to close, but I was off the last 2 days and I had to go in today and work the morning shift. And I thought, well, shit, 11 to 4, restaurant work, it's going to be dead, pretty much after 1:30 till about like 3:30, so I'm like, this is great, man. I'll be able to relax, take it easy. I had like 20 deliveries. Oh my gosh, it was busy all day. It's crazy. I had one order. It's like 12 different orders up to the VA hospital. And it's crazy now. Like, I swear, every single time I go up to the VA hospital, there's like 2 or 3 ambulances up front rushing people out of the VA hospital. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, when you're at the hospital, but an ambulance rushes to the hospital to take you, I guess, to another hospital.
Do
So
they just not have like what they needed to do for them there? I don't. Like, we live super close to a hospital and we hear like helicopters going over the house.
Yeah.
All the time because we have a Lifestar. I don't know if that's the same thing everywhere, but it's the hospital helicopter.
The hospitals that have helicopters, it's the same everywhere.
Is it? Yeah, I wasn't sure if they use the same.
Not all hospitals have helicopters.
Yeah.
It's
where you live.
Yeah, they got a helipad up there at the Woody Williams VA hospital there in Huntington, West Virginia, that's for sure. But it's right in the middle of the street. They have to stop traffic.
Oh, really?
That's crazy. Because they built the hospital up on top of the mountain, and the mountain was like skinny on top, so it's just like pretty much like one road, and it was just barely enough room for that one road. So they had to put it there. And like, the maddening thing is, where they put that helipad, it's like right next to the huge water tower and 6-story hospital building and then parking garage on the other side. So I've never seen a helicopter land at that hospital, but dude, a helicopter land there, this dude's like, it's basically would be the equivalent of like landing inside a James Bond villain volcano or something, like, and don't hit the sides when you're landing. I'm sure Klaus Schwab probably has something like that down in the Caribbean next to Pedo Island or something. I wouldn't be surprised at this point, honestly. Wouldn't be shocked at all. Just saying.
I can't wait for that new show, Klaus and the Faucis. That's gonna be awesome.
Oh man,
Schwabi and the Faucis.
It's really weird. It will not put him in the
So
post.
turns out there's also a SURDAC along with VERBAC. There's more than one panel of expert advisory committees that reports to the FDA. And sometimes I just geek out and like watch that shit. And oh my God. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, it's hard. There's just so much like it just
It
feels
all
like.
clicked in my head, finally. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's so much that that makes us sad. It's hard sometimes, just to find that that motivation and to not let it sink us.
Well, it hurts because, it's a rabbit hole. This whole FDA regulation, regulatory capture, corruption to the core, ossification, desiccation, dilapidation of the entire country at its core pillars of the very pillars of society, public school, public medicine, um, public governance, and public utilities. And I mean, well, let's see, how did public utilities perform down in Texas during the last cold snap? We remember. How's public school performing? Don't they have PTA meetings in Northern Virginia? How's that going?
We just had a threat of a school shooting at the high school that my daughter went to. Like, it's not very far from us, and the school handled it awful. I just did a podcast like the beginning of the other one that I just did, like on that, because I was just blown away. I mean, like there's a change.org petition too to sign, but oh my gosh, like the school they had the worst reaction that they could possibly have. Like, there was no communication. The students thought it was a weather-related lockdown. Well, there's two kids going around with what they thought were guns, and they did have guns. They just didn't have active rounds in them. But still, I mean, like, can you imagine if it was and if they actually did do what, you know what I mean, what they were there to threaten to do? Obviously, yeah. Oh my gosh.
I heard Smith and Wesson is just going to start, selling ammunition instead of like chocolate bars and stuff. When they do fundraisers, it's just going to be ammunition and print your own Glocks and, fucking gun violence. It's the future.
I had an epiphany today, and I typed it out on the Rockfin chat somewhere. I said that corporations today regulate governments so that governments can regulate their customers.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
spot on.
The other thing that I'm realizing now is
you should write that in the chat so I can put it up there.
There was, I feel like there's been kind of like an unwritten contract with America and the worker, kind of a trust that's just been assumed over time. And when you really strip it back to its core, we've been enticed to not work the land, but to move to town and get a factory job. We've been enticed to not homeschool and raise our own children and teach our own children, but to send them off to boarding school or to send them off to public school and daycare centers, so that coincidentally and however haphazardly conveniently for employers, that just makes employees that are so much more productive, and that allows you to co-op women's lib and put all women in the workplace as well, when women's lib was never about adding more women to the workforce so they can be paid half the money to work twice as hard. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, everything has just been manipulated to benefit capitalism, which is just the English translation of the Spanish phrase La Conquista. There's no difference between what Christopher Columbus did and what BlackRock and Vanguard do. Same fucking thing. There's no difference what Pfizer does from what Coronado and Cortez did. You know, they come in your country, they eat your chocolate, they drink your coffee, right? I mean, smoke all your weed, they eat your tacos and burritos, and then they just fucking kill you.
Yeah, or enslave you and bring you somewhere else.
And the thing that's crazy is that, like, you know, it's like, oh, it becomes like this relief for parents when you can send your child to public school, because then you actually have, like, you know, a babysitter or whatever. So, like, you can try to find a job and work. And it's like, so, you know, it's more of that. And then, like, I haven't, you know, my daughter's gonna be 18, and I haven't had family in the same state as me or anywhere close to me. Like, I didn't have, like, a family to fall back on, to rely on if I needed childcare, or, you know, like, if I was sick, or, you know, like, I didn't have any of that. And, like, it's such an assumed thing that people have that. No, my family all lived out of state. So you know, when I was working, I worked, you know, I worked at a shelter, and then I got a job at Target, and I worked both places at the same. Actually, no, I had my job at Target, and then I started working at the shelter that I had previously lived at, and then I was working both jobs. And, you know, so she went to school during the day, and then she would be in after school, you know, program. And, you know, sometimes it was late, and, like, I didn't see her, like, all day because I was doing it on my own. And, you know, then, oh, it's just so heartbreaking how much, you know, both of the parents, you know, like, or the caregivers, or whoever it is that's caring for the child, doesn't get to actually have that time with them. You know, you work so hard just to what? Like, to be away from them?
Like
You know, one of the most stinging criticisms that would always trigger me when I was living and traveling overseas back in 2017 and 2018, and it was the worst, actually, amongst expat communities. Because, I mean, across Mexico and Ecuador, just for example, and in many other countries, particularly in Latin and South America. But, you know, from personal experience in Mexico and Ecuador, there are a number of pockets of expat communities, or gringolandias, as they're called down south.
Yeah.
And don't always hear about how dumb and lazy most Americans are. And that would trigger me. That would just piss me off. Because my whole life, all I've ever known are people that are absolutely working themselves to the fucking bone. Americans, in fact, are workaholics. Americans, in fact, are some of the smartest people on planet Earth, because they've had to sift through and figure out the truth by peeling through so many layers of mud and bullshit. It's been so much more difficult. And so I would say the great weakness of most Americans is that I'm going to venture to say that the vast majority of the population of the United States of America, we're talking well over 300 million people, Stephen Lucky, and I'm going to say no more than 20%. No way more than 20% of the entire population has ever been issued a passport and crossed any international boundary of any kind. I'm further going to say that it's more likely that at least half of the country has likely never traveled more than 500 miles from where they were born.
Absolutely. I think it's probably a higher number.
Yeah. That's
yeah. I've only been across the country. Yeah, I've been on, like, I was born on the West Coast, and then I went to, like, down in New Orleans, and then back up, you know, this way up into New England and stuff. But I've never even been down to, like, the Southwest, you know, like.
And why is that? Why is that? I venture to say that is no matter how hard most Americans work, they can never afford a vacation. Okay? And that's gotten to be such a grim reality for most people. I shit you not. They made up a fucking word for it. It's called staycation.
Yep.
Yona didn't think of that shit. Everybody's heard of staycation. What the fuck is a staycation? Work your ass to death, work your 2 or 3 jobs to death, and for your staycation, maybe you can supersize it in the second drive-through lane.
Yeah.
That's the progress we get. 2 lanes at the McDonald's now, and 2 masks. That's your progress.
And hair in your food, because
Hair
that
in your
food
food.
is made with hair.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. You can't get
bread has
Medicare for
hair
all,
in
but
it.
we'll give you myocarditis for all.
That's right.
Come on, there's one size fits all for
At least all you
everything.
kids. At least all you kids. You want McDonald's toys? We got myocarditis, blood clots.
Yeah, like, okay, so I went to Hawaii, like I was able to go to Hawaii, which most people are not. I went there when I was 18 with my parents and my younger brother and sister, because my stepdad was Coast Guard, and he was like basically having a change of command. Like, he was not going to be on the huge Coast Guard cutter anymore. Like,
I'm so glad.
that was the reason
You were
I got to
reading
go
my
to
soul and
Hawaii.
spirit. There's something I've been praying about all day.
Did you
That's been
see what
really,
happened
really,
there?
really heavy on my mind. I've heard about it before from some of my Hawaiian friends. When I was in the Army going through boot camp at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri with Alpha 310 Black Sheep, 2nd Platoon, HUA. I was the bugler, by the way. I was the guy that got up every morning and played reveille on the bugle to wake everybody up, the bugle boy. So, bugler here, and Zelmo. But one of my battle buddies, Kalua.
So wait,
Ua,
were you the one who would like play taps too?
Yes, I've played taps at many.
Okay, after you tell this, I gotta tell you about taps.
But anyways, Kalua Ua, he was from Maui, from Hilo, I think, actually, which is across the mountain from Honolulu. But anyways, what I've been praying about, what's on my mind, I saw this video of the water director for Honolulu talking about, the at this point it's been 8 years. I want to say it was Abby Martin that put out a video about it that I saw. That was about 10 minutes long. But anyways, talking about the U.S. Navy has a storage facility, which, like, if you've ever, who hasn't gotten gas at a gas station, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whenever the big gasoline semi oil tanker pulls up, that gives the gas to the gas station so you can get the gas, right? And I don't know if you've ever seen that process happening, my fellow Americans and all around the world, but they hook up the hoses to it, and then they got these little colored manholes at a lot of places, and they pop the manholes, and that way they can put the diesel in this tank, and they put the unleaded in that tank, and all that. And these tanks are underground. Well, at Red Hill Tank Facility, they've got these huge old metal tanks that are like, I don't know, 80 years old. And it's right on top of the sole aquifer, the sole water source for the entire island of Maui, which is sacred to my Hawaiian friends, and it's killing him. It's poisoning him. He was in tears. It brings me to tears because they're going to the doctor with chemical burns in the mouth from the gasoline, the jet fuel, and diesel fuel, and everything that's been leaking out that they've known has been leaking out for 80 years. Yeah. Now Yeah, I mean, it's a desperate situation for, Honolulu, which just happens to be the largest city and the capital of Hawaii. And lest we forget, what was it, Lilia Kuani and Kamehameha, when the Americans first showed up, because they wrote a law, the Guano Island law, that basically said if you can find an island with bat shit on it, you can claim it for the United States and dig up the bat shit because we need it for fertilizer. And that's how we ended up with Hawaii and Midway and everything else. It's the If you're wondering, Stever, that's the batshit Guano Island chapter in American Manifest Destiny. The batshit crazy chapter where they claim that deposits of bird shit and bat shit mean that you get to claim entire archipelagos, which we did. Anyhow, that's Hawaii. Much prayers and love to all my friends in Hawaii. Hopefully enough pressure can be brought forth to close the Red Hill. And here's the video. Maybe we should watch it together, because I would say most people are probably unaware of this. I mean, to me, this is no offense to Flint, Michigan, but I think this is probably even worse and more dire. Because, I mean, Maui, for people that aren't familiar with Hawaii, it's a number of islands. And Maui, that's where Pearl Harbor and Honolulu and, Schofield Barracks, all that. It's I would say probably easily 80-90% of all of Hawaii's population is on that one island. And that's the one water source. But anyways, if you want to play that video, I guess never a better time.
Chemicals in their drinking water, and instead of acting to save lives, they're engaging in a massive cover-up. This ongoing disaster is the result of the Navy recklessly storing millions of gallons of fuel, literally 100 feet from Oahu's largest drinking water source. This story should be treated as the national scandal it is, but so far it's been largely absent across major media, maybe because the culprit is the beloved U.S. military. Before we get into it, watch the man who's been sounding the alarm for years, Hawaii Board of Water Supply Chief Engineer Ernest Lau, at a press conference on December 3rd, right after he was forced to shut down the island's essential aquifer.
I think this is a foreshadowing of what could happen to the broader community if we don't do something about the storage of this of fuel, over 180 million gallons of diesel and jet fuel, 100 feet above our drinking water aquifer. If we don't do something about eliminating that risk to the water resource, so I think it's time for action now. It is time. We cannot wait any longer. The water resources is precious. It's irreplaceable. It's pure. There is no substitute for pure water, and our lives depend upon it. So I would urge the decision makers and the Navy to take action immediately to take away this risk from our vital water resources there.
I can't even imagine what was going through Lau's head at that moment, knowing that despite how quickly this current leak is cleaned up, there are already untold amounts of people who could suffer and potentially die from the toxins they've already ingested. Petrochemicals in drinking water are notorious for causing leukemia, miscarriages, and devastating birth defects. We just did an hour-long podcast on this unfolding tragedy, in which you can find many more details about the case linked to in the description below. So this is all happening at the Red Hill Fuel Storage Facility, owned and operated by the Navy, where since World War II, about 200 million gallons of fuel have been stored in the same rusted-through metal tanks, right on top of this precious and irreplaceable water source. Red Hill has always leaked. A classified Navy report in 1982 reported leaks in the fuel lines, and regular leaks for 40 years prior. Since then, the Navy's own data has shown constant, regular fuel leakage and consistent toxins in the soil that far exceed Department of Health safety standards. We're talking about almost 80 years of this pollution. Once residents became aware of the once top-secret facility in the 90s, they've been calling to shut it down, because obviously, it's insane to continue this. But the Navy's always maintained there's nothing to worry about. They test the water all the time. If there was a problem, well, they'd be sure to let you know. Here's a Navy captain in 2016 responding to all the concerns.
Good morning to you, Captain.
Good morning, Ron. Good to be here.
Top two questions people are asking. Number one, is our drinking water safe? And number two, will it continue to be safe?
Yes, Ron. So easy questions to answer. One, the drinking water is safe. And I know that because we test the drinking water exhaustively once every quarter. And we also have ground monitoring wells near Red Hill, which we test on a monthly basis. So we would know if there was any petroleum in the water, the drinking water is safe.
Okay.
It turns out that the Navy detected harmful petrochemicals in the drinking water at least 6 months ago. According to Hawaii paper The Star Advertiser, water samples taken by the Navy at its Red Hill drinking water well showed petroleum contamination in July, August, and September. Some of the samples exceeded the state's threshold for what's considered safe. So what did the Navy do when they found these chemicals back in July? Did they tell residents, pregnant women, even their own troops to stop drinking the water? No. Instead, they actively hid the information and refused to comply with the Hawaii Department of Health on giving them the data. The Navy had been constantly failing health inspections at the facility, leading to hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines from the health department, as well as a lawsuit filed by the Sierra Club in November. The only reason the Navy finally admitted something was even happening is that the water began to smell and taste like gasoline, and people began showing up at the emergency room with chemical burns in their mouths.
Today, Amanda just texted me, and it's about 6 o'clock in the morning Hawaii time, Mr. Chairman, that she went to the Tripler emergency room last night because of a headache and irritation in her mouth and throat, and her doctor diagnosed her with chemical burns in her mouth.
The Navy's response to all of this has been predictable. Cover their own asses by any means necessary. Watch this Navy spokesperson lie to the public.
Well, what I would say to that is if you're pregnant, you're concerned, one, obviously drink water that you feel is safe. No evidence to suggest that there's any long-term effects, but
It is completely false that there are no long-term side effects of pregnant women drinking these pollutants. Navy command cannot be trusted. Even head of the Hawaii Sierra Club chapter, Wayne Tanaka, stated in November, "We have lost all trust in the local Navy command." And that was before we knew they'd been covering up poisonous water. We have no idea how many people have been impacted so far, how big this leak is, or how much more pollution is still making its way from Red Hill to the drinking water supply. What we do know is that Biden must declare a state of emergency to help this community, and that the Navy must finally do what Hawaiians have been demanding for decades: shut down Red Hill. It's not like they don't have the money to do what's urgently needed. Move the fuel tanks, relocate the residents, and pay for remediation, cleanup, and lifetime health care for all potential victims. Right now, the Navy's refusing to do any of that, and they're actually saying they need 5 months to fix the leak, and until 2045 to make it totally safe. No matter what happens with this current contamination, this same thing is guaranteed to happen again and again, as long as this totally pointless, decaying facility remains there. We know from the military's horrific legacy of water contamination, from Camp Lejeune to Coldwater Creek, that the standard response is to cover up their pollution as long as possible. And once people start dying and they can't hide it anymore, deny responsibility and health claims by the people they have poisoned. This has happened to so many communities in the US and around the world living near current and former US bases. We cannot let it happen again at Red Hill. As Lau said, water is life. Water is the most sacred substance on Earth that sustains all life. How can we trust a government that intentionally dumps its toxic waste into this precious resource? How can we believe an entity that has done nothing but lie and cover up its criminal actions, proving time and again it values money over human life? You know, it's important to remember that Hawaii was just another colonial military outpost of the empire, which was denied statehood rights until 1959. Today, 22% of Oahu's land is occupied by the US military, with even more land remnants of former military installations. We can see that colonial relationship continue to play out in the Red Hill crisis. Hawaii's own Department of Health, Board of Water Supply, and elected officials are totally at the mercy of the local Navy command. If this is what the military leaders are doing to not only its own citizens, but its own service members, just imagine what it's doing to the people who live near US bases abroad, where the military isn't subject to any regulations or EPA oversight. How many more places are being poisoned? How many more Red Hills are there?
Wow. I think there's about 850 some odd foreign bases, something to that regard. It's hard to tell. But thank you so much for queuing up and playing that video, Lucky. I mean, it's
I
a
watched it
sobering
earlier.
thing, you know, because when you hear people talk about all of the pollution globally, whether it's sulfur and carbon emissions, which is one thing that can be getting into, but I mean, in terms of my own concern, it's the pollution of water and air with radioactive and toxic chemicals and substances. I would rather put the arguments of greenhouse gases into the air I would rather lay that to the side, because I mean, I've heard arguments made that grazing herds emit too much carbon, and that's an excuse to kill all, to end the grazing of animals. Now, I mean, that's one thing compared to consolidated animal feeding operations or factory farms, which is different from, free grazing, because there's a lot of people that free graze and absolutely love their animals. It's a way of life. That's where all this meat that people love to eat comes from, but a lot of people never have had to hunt or clean, meat that they've, been blessed to be allowed to catch and prepare, or even like working in a butcher. I mean, deep inside this so-called government, this so-called democracy that we live in, that is supposedly reformable by voting, it's actually an empire, a very, very bloody empire, a very, very bloody society. But I mean, the consumption of meat for most Americans is just one example of you hardly ever get chicken blood or beef blood on your hands when you actually go to get the food. You don't have to butcher it, you don't have to dress it, you don't have to clean it, you don't have to cook it. I mean, most time it's already wrapped up and in a bag.
It's pretty little
all you have to
packages
do
at the
is eat
store.
it.
It's
Yeah,
pretty.
and so everything's sanitized, and the same thing in regards to the use of I'll use a pejorative euphemism in a sarcastic fashion here, and we'll just call them vaccines gone bad, right? Normally vaccines gone bad are tested out on third world countries other than third world America.
Well, we should think about not saying third world. That's actually a very derogatory term. Just because I'm just gonna throw that out there. I hear it said a lot, and so it actually we should say lower economic status for a state. It was developed during the Cold War, and that's when they started saying like first world and third world countries. And it's I didn't realize,
It's
like how
incredibly
derogatory it was.
disingenuous because I think it's part of this constant fantasy and mythology, because that's why I immediately said as a non sequitur, if you heard me, third world, not to be confused with third world America, immediately pushing back on that, because for those that have gotten passports and have had the blessing to go overseas for any amount of time and actually see what is life like outside of the United States of America. When you come back to the United States, it's such a culture shock because you've been programmed with this framing that, yes, is incredibly derogatory to the productive South. But it's a term of the extractive North, which has always profited from the productive South, right? And so Americans have lived in this false paradigm of we're first world America, okay? But to the American that lives within the United States,
yeah, because we have to remember that this is North America.
It's actually a very exclusive term, because when Americans go to Mexico, well, they're not in North America anymore. They're in Mexico. If Americans go to Canada,
we're United States in North America, and I'm always making that point because we are not America. Like, this is not America. Like, I am always yelling about that in the third world country thing, and like it drives me crazy because I'm like, this isn't America. That's like what? We don't get to claim everything. That's it's a colonizer's fucking term, dude. Like, we live in the United States. But there's the
clues. See, Lucky, there are the clues. Manifest destiny, first world America. America is the United States.
We're first. We're number one. We're America. Like, no, we don't get to take those labels. Those aren't. It's not true. Those aren't factual. Those are, like.
But that's the crap. That's the to be more polite, that's the pablum to the proletariat. That's just the fodder that's fed to the hoi polloi, to the masses. That's just more. I mean, you've got the pablum that goes with the panem et circenses, or bread and circuses. Sorry to get so Latin, but I mean, this is such a tried and true, worn out old playbook of tyrants. I heard one of the German members of the EU Parliament saying that what was it that the constant alibi of the tyrant is, it's for the good of all, right? Well, you got to do this because it's for the good of all, I mean, literally, Fauci said on, what was it, his interview, I think it was on NBC with Andrea Mitchell.
He just didn't forget, he didn't finish his thought, right? It's for the better good of all of his people, all of the 1%. Like, so they do say some truth in what they say. They just don't include us in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't finish that sentence. And that's
well, you see that's because there's worthless eaters. There are times that they've said the quiet parts out loud, and it's been recorded.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Folks, we have the receipts. We have the MP4 files. Okay, it's out there, and they're so arrogant and conceited. Lucky, I mean, it's God, it's so in your face. I mean, it's really just ridiculous, you know. And beyond that, it's just so sad to to witness this. It's an exciting time to be alive, but it's really, really sad for me because, I mean, just in terms of where it's going, like, you know, as soon as I got home from work, I immediately jumped on the rock and I saw T-Lab was on with the daily wrap up. And
Oh, I missed that.
as soon as I jumped on, he's going over a story where the second largest school district in the United States of America, that would be the Los Angeles County Unified School District, they were sending pizza out with the Vax RV. And so that way, when the Vax RV pulled up to the school gymnasium and they put out the fucking pizzas on the tables in the gym right before lunch hour, they're like, hey, I don't know, it was the worst fucking slop they normally served that day. I'm sure they broke out the Nutriloaf that day for the kids on free and reduced school lunches. Thanks to the Black Panthers for that program, by the way. Anyways.
Yeah.
So the kids are marched in there and they're like, hey, we got cheese, we got pepperoni, we got sausage. You got to get vaxxed first. And then the lady that's giving the shots is like, oh, like, I feel so bad about this. I'm just going to sign this for your parents' consent form, but please don't say anything to anybody about this. Just keep it quiet, son. They didn't even have paramedics there. I mean, there's video that's come out and he's talking about it. It's like, I'm thinking of dropping the whole use of the term Nazi because there's no doubt in my mind, Operation Paperclip, the U.S. is the Fourth Reich, and shit that's going on now at like elementary schools and grade schools, and then the VRBAC meeting where they're pushing it to get this for 3 and 4 year olds now, and they want to go all the way down to 6 months old. And I'm just like, I saw another report from a legislative member in Canada talking about just the explosion of all these stillbirths at the birthing centers in other places, because I already knew about water. I mean, it's just like,
it's fucking heartbreaking. It's fucking heartbreaking. When I watched that video on, you know, Hawaii earlier, like, I started crying. I'm like, fucking, like, it is, they're doing it everywhere in so many places, and it's been passed on and passed on and passed on and ignored for so long that it's so out of control. It's like, where the fuck do we even go to start? Like, where do we even begin with all this?
I would be remiss to leave the topic of water and pollution without acknowledging I'm like at ground zero for poison freaking water here. I mean, the Ohio River is pretty much a floating cesspool with a Teflon coating, thanks to DuPont. Virtually every other holler around here in southern Ohio, eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, it's got shit in the water. You know, when Johnny Cash was in West Virginia visiting some of the southern coal country, you know, he wrote a song, "Don't go near the water, brother. The water isn't water anymore." And I mean, you know, if you really want to get bummed out, go on Google Earth. If you want to check out Yona country, folks, okay, you can go to Google Earth and look at the aerial, you know, the aerial bird's eye view. And swoop in over the heart of Cherokee homeland. And you can see, it looks, if you'll kind of see from out, as you start to zoom in, it looks like there's, in the middle of all this green, there's like these big fucking moon craters or something. And then you zoom in and you're like, wow, it's like 20 square miles, just fucking rocks. Oh, fucking nuts. It's called mountaintop removal. A good friend of mine, Maria Gunno, fights him over there in West Virginia all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna try
Call
to
her
pull it up, but it like
Kawaki
completely
Gaga.
lagged the computer out, the Google Earth. So we'll have to do that. We'll have to do that after or individually. The computer was like, nope.
I did promise Mama that at midnight my headphones would turn into mice and my microphone would turn back into a pumpkin, and I would get my glass slippers over to help with the babies tonight. But I mean, I'll go for another 20 or 30 minutes. Kind of got started late, but I love Craig Pasta and Fee and everything they do at the combo caps. They're so lit, and I love Chandon Oz and all them too. So
Yeah, I got a little work.
I hated to cut away from, but I think we were done. They were done. They were on their final song, so it's all good. But
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to get so emotional. It just kills me.
No, me too. Like,
Because I mean, it's like literally every year I go back to the aerial photographs to see when the new data sets have come in on the orthography, the aerial photographs. Every year they're doing more aerial photogrammetric and orthographic data dumps and putting in the tiles, and seeing how much it's just like a cancer that just keeps growing and growing. And so I mean that really takes me to what my focus was for this round 4, and that is where we are today. I feel like the first 3 were kind of getting us slowly up to today, and the most recent speech of a native elder we heard was from John Trudell, and he was talking particularly about how human beings are being mined, and as they're being mined, what's left as the poisonous residue of the mining of people is fears and doubts and uncertainties. And where we are at today, there's 2 things that we need to realize. Number one, it's hard to know where we are if we don't know what we are. And I think we know where we are now. I tried to give us some historical context from the first contacts with the colonists to where we are today in this colonial experiment where everyone born in America now is a Native American. And Native American policy is now being applied to everyone. That's why you're seeing genocide coast to coast. So everyone's Native American now. Welcome to the tribe. And I think you're quickly finding out what it's like to be treated like a Native American. You're finding out real fast. How do they treat Native American children? They just kill them at school and don't even tell you. Look into Indian boarding schools and get back to me. You'll see what I mean. They're doing it at all the public schools now. See, Native American policy for everybody. So
I know I
being,
feel very lucky that my daughter's 18 at this point,
yeah.
and she's not in a school where they're gonna freaking give her something without my consent. She's old enough to say
that's
no.
so fucked up. It's so fucked up. Parents know that is just so that's so beyond fucked up. But the point being, number one, America is not a democracy.
No.
The United States of America is not a democracy and never was. It was established as a republic. When you do the Pledge of Allegiance, you're not pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the democracy for which it stands.
How are you supposed to pledge to a flag?
Republic.
Pledge to a flag?
And you used to have to do
have like a flag.
I want to say this. When you used to do the Pledge of Allegiance, you would say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and then do what was called the Bellamy Salute. And public schools all across the country all these school kids were doing what we would call today the frickin' Hitler salute. But they quit doing it, I think, in 1942 because it was looking kind of weird when American youth were looking a little bit like Hitler youth. So they quit doing that, and now just keep it on your heart the whole time. You don't have to do the whole Macarena, the fascist Macarena, we'll call it. So, number one, the government was set up as a republic for women, children, slave, and land-owning Christian white people. You know, freedom for everybody. Where, what was it? Were slaves counted as 1/6 of a person or something crazy like that?
Yeah, I think it was 1/6.
1/6, right?
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
Let us know, guys, if it isn't, if that's not.
And then I think Cherokees were counted as 0/6. So, anyways,
it's because you were the most prized people, so they had to make you worth like less. You know, like this is your land. You know how to survive. You're made to survive on this land. You know.
Well, it turns out there are no Indians left in Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama. Now we can build more slave plantations. All right, let's grow some cotton. What a bunch of evil fucks. And, you know, you can't blame an entire tribe, an entire pigment color collective. You can't blame an entire nation because each and every tribe of people has a little upper crust of elites that are at the top of the butt crack. And then everybody else that just takes the shits. And that's universal. You know, it's universal. 1/5. Thank you. So that would have made us 0/5, which is better than 0/6.
Yeah.
All right. We're moving up in the world.
Little math there that is hopeful, I guess.
So, you know, on the one hand, it's an empire. And, you know, what you have to understand is the United States began its sole reason for declaring independence was to dissolve the proclamation line of 1763 so that George Washington, among others, who already had claims to over 250 million acres beyond the proclamation line, he was the immediate beneficiary of the largest tracts of land in the new land that they immediately declared war on every single Indian nation and immediately spread all the way to the Mississippi River. So that by the time you get to 1804, Thomas Jefferson is bargaining with France to get the land that Spain claims on behalf of about 350 Indian nations. Cut the check to Napoleon, Louisiana Purchase, send out Lewis and Clark. So anyways, then they end up going all the way to the Northwest Territories, and you get all the way to Chief Seattle's speech where he talks about, you know, and our dead ancestors will always roam these streets. Did I say dead? I just mean a change of worlds, my friends. God love Chief Seattle. Boy, he stuck a zinger at the end. God love Chief Seattle. Seattle. So anyways, you know, and then you have the Buffalo Soldiers that are so memorialized by Bob Marley.
Mm-hmm.
What were Buffalo Soldiers? Free slaves who were put into the Union Army to go out and kill Plains Indians. I can't make this shit up. It's a true story. I'm not making any of this shit up. Staycation, Buffalo Soldiers, you know.
Oh my God.
This is just basic shit. So we're an empire, you know, and then what was it? The newspapers claimed that Spain sank the Maine and Havana, Cuba harbors, so we got to go in and take over Cuba and Puerto Rico and the Philippines and Guam and Saipan and Hell, the Philippines was part of the United States as a territory for like 50 years or something. A lot of people don't know that. We still have Guam and Saipan. So it's an empire. The point is, it has been an expansionist empire conquering through genocide and bloodlust from its inception, all the way back to July 4, 1776. It has just been an aggressive killing machine. And it merely took over the empire. So, I mean, really, the American empire is a stolen empire. It stole part of England's empire. It stole part of Spain's empire. And ironically, it seems that basically the British bankers came back in and co-opted the United States. And you see the results. They've built state-of-the-art freeways and autobahns all across Europe from one end to the other. They've got state-of-the-art high-speed rail from one end to the other. Canals that had fallen into disrepair and disuse have all been totally refurbished. New locks and dams put in all across Europe. Meanwhile, in the United States, they keep talking about Build Back Better while it's falling down faster. I mean, it's just... Again, back to the Hudson North Tunnel. The only fucking way to get to Penn Station, the main ass train station in New York City, the main ass fucking city in all of the United States of America. I mean, every time it rains in New York City, how many fucking subway lines on the metro are out of service? I mean, it's... How old is that? So... It's an empire.
The catacombs in New York City are a tourist destination to go see people's bones.
So
death is celebrated within this country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know the third verse of Francis Scott Key's "The Star Spangled Banner" literally says in the national anthem, no refuge could save the hireling or slave from the fear of the chase or the doom of the grave. Yet still doth our star-spangled banner wave. Oh, it's bad. It's really bad.
The propaganda that's been ingrained into us since birth is just unreal. We're just we become numb to it. You know what I mean? Reevaluating all of the history and everything that we've been taught and everything that we think we know. It is mind-boggling, and it's
In the War of 1812, Britain had freed its slaves. And so any slaves that joined Britain on the siege of, I can't remember what fort it was now, at the mouth of the Patapsco River there, Baltimore Harbor. Hell, I don't remember what fort it was. But anyways, it's where Francis Scott Key was. It was one of the battles of War of 1812 there at Baltimore Harbor. And, there was slavery in Maryland. Frederick Douglass was a slave in Maryland. The famous Frederick Douglass. Power concedes nothing without a demand. That Frederick Douglass. And so there were slaves that were fleeing the plantation, and some were even liberated by British forces, and they fought alongside the British. There's a... Oh, now my mind's going to go blank. Is it Horn? Gerald Horn with an E? Horne? I want to say his name is Gerald Horne. He's a brilliant historian. He's written a number of books. I want to say he's at Louisiana State University. Professor Emeritus Gerald Horne. Written 60 books. Brilliant man. But, he argues that 3 wars have been fought in the United States to keep slavery legal. And that was the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, and the Civil War. And that if you read the 13th Amendment, they kept slavery legal because the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution says slavery is hereby prohibited, comma, unless it's a punishment for a crime that we just invented. Oh, you're Cherokee while standing by that tree, and you're black while walking, so off to the chain gang. Time to make big rocks into little rocks.
And they say that you're like, you know, once you've done your time, you know, you're like you're free, and that stigma stays with you. It doesn't just like go away. It's not like, oh, I did my time and now I'm done. And then you also do time for freaking things like plants. Like, are you freaking kidding me? It is so infuriating. It's like, you can tell me that I can't have a plant, but no, I have to have something in my body that's experimental.
This is what rule of law looks like under completely lawless rulers. When the greatest crime you could commit would be to expose the crimes of the leaders. Just ask Julian Assange.
His thing is tomorrow. His trial is tomorrow.
Yeah.
To find out if they can, extradite a man that doesn't even.
Yeah, I'll be tuning in close to Richie to see what happens there. Richard Medhurst.
Do you know what time it's
He's
supposed
all
to
over
happen? It's like there's a huge time difference between there and here.
I think they're 6 hours ahead because London is on Greenwich time, of course. And we're Greenwich -6, I think. That's how it works. I think. Or Zulu
5
time.
a.m. 5 a.m. our time.
Yeah.
So I might just, we might just be up, Charlie Brown and I stay up pretty late.
So the one thing I want people to come away knowing, and I'm sure most everybody already realizes, but we live in an empire, and only now, as the empire has been decidedly collapsing and shrinking, only now, watching that, America may in fact have an empire, but the empire is in decline. Only now am I hearing that. And then secondly is, from its inception, La Conquista, the conquest, the U.S. continues the conquest, much like the conquistadors, to this day. Because what were conquistadors looking to do? Why were they here? Why did they bring pickaxes and shovels and sieves? Okay.
Well, I mean, just think of
chains.
You're calling them
conquistadors. Why did they come to these shores? They didn't come to these shores to build magnificent Doric and Ionic Greek marble buildings and everything to rule from.
Were they just looking for a new place to make Stonehenge?
They came looking for treasure, for gold and silver and other valuable ores that can be mined. They came looking for new pools of labor that can be mined and enslaved. See, you need to look at Cortez and Coronado like a bunch of San Francisco 49ers that are racing across the Rocky Mountains to Sutter's Mill in California with pickaxes on one shoulder and sieves under the other arm. From its inception, America has been mined of iron ore, of coal, of people, of trees, of buffalo, of deer. It's been mined for children, for pedophiles. It's been mined of women for the sex trade, because not all of the sex trade is willing participants. You know, arguments can be made about that, and consensual sex is a great thing. That's
Well, I
part of
mean,
Indian
and
life, but I'm
putting
talking
people
about the
into that
mining.
position too, you know what I mean? Like people are forced into that, so that's not like it's choice based on what, you know what I mean?
That's why I say, to me, I see that as a form of mining.
Mhm.
I mean, if that's not mining someone's holes for money, I don't know what is. Kind of, don't mean to be crude, but I mean, how's that different from going to a coal mine hole every day and just pulling out more money? I mean, it's exploitation. Mining and exploitation, extraction. And what is wage work? Extraction of your time, right? I mean, you got to make a living somehow, but it's always been about mining. And as there's fewer trees to mine, as there's fewer mineral deposits to mine here, there, and yon, the mining tactics have become more brutal and more
I mean, it's
destructive. Like, for example, with the mountaintop removal and the large strip mining, I also think of the province of, I want to say it's the province of Alberta. Yeah, because they've got the Albertan tar sands, where I don't know if you've ever seen that strip mining process up there in the lands of my brothers, the Cree and the other northern tribes, what they've been doing. But I mean, to get down to the tar sand that they boil this thick bitumen tar out of, like a tar oil, that they then dilute, and so that's called dilbit, and it's an extremely explosive, highly volatile form of crude. That was the type of crude that was on the train that some of the oil tanker cars. There was a coupler that broke, and some of the oil tanker cars back rolled back into the town of Lac-Mégantic in Quebec, Canada, and exploded, and I think leveled like 6 city blocks. I don't know how many dozens of people it immediately killed and how many hundreds were injured. Um, but I mean, there's been a number of these explosive trains. But again, the strip mining in Alberta, where they have to remove all of the trees from the boreal forest and then strip all of the topsoil away and all of the subsurface away until you've got like a 20-acre, 30-acre new pit that's 30, 40 foot deep, where they've dug all the way down to tar sand, and they dig that out and then just barf the crap back into the hole. And you see this from I mean, it's a mining society. That's what John Trudell was talking about, and that's the point we're at today, where we're all mined out.
I want to play you a song.
We're totally exhausted from being mined out.
I want to play you this song. This is it's called The Mountain, and Benjamin Todd, that is in the band Lost Dog Street Band. And this is one of my favorite songs that he does, like as a solo one, and I think you'll understand why.
And I was born on this mountain a long time ago. Before they knocked down the timber and stripped mine coal. And you woke up in the morning before it was light. And you go down in that dark hole and come back night. And I was born on this mountain's my home. And she holds me and keeps me from worrying low. now they took everything that she gave, now they're gone. But I will die on this mountain's my home. And I was young on this mountain, but now I am old. And I knew every holler and cool swimming hole. Till one night I lay down and woke up to find that my childhood was over and went down in the mine. And I was born on this mountain's my home. And she holds me and keeps me from worry and woe. Now they took everything that she gave, now they're gone. But I will die on this mountain's my home. And there's a hole in this mountain, it's dark and it's deep. Oh, and Lord only knows all the secrets she keeps. And there's a chill in the air only miners can feel. And there are ghosts in the tunnels the company seal. And I was born on this mountain's my home. And she holds me and keeps me from worry and woe. And now they took everything that she gave, now they're gone. But I will die on this mountain's my home.
Well, you know, the state motto of West Virginia is Montani Semper Liberi, which is Latin for mountaineers are always free. Now,
Oh, sorry.
let's see what. But yeah, there's just basically two things to realize. We're an empire, and we're a mining empire. You know, the point of interference in Bolivia and what went on with Evo Morales is, you know, mining options for lithium. Same thing with the lithium deposits and other rare earth metal deposits in Afghanistan. You know, you see that it's mining interests and extraction interests, whether they're extracting for cheaper and cheaper pools of offshore labor or for other natural resources. It's just a mining society that extracts, and the final frontier of mining is to mine the human body and to mine the human body's very own cells as vaccine factories, as they say in their own talks. You know, I mean, literally, the COVID injections are mRNA, which is a messenger RNA, which is supposed to be uptook into the cell so as to give the cell the coding, the instructions, as it were, in order to produce a spike protein that is, in theory, supposed to stimulate the immune system to produce antibodies that will then fight the spike proteins that your other cells are making. So then when there's a cytokine storm and some of your cells are attacking your other cells, totally normal. Like, I mean, and that's if you, it's just, don't question the science. Don't even think about it.
It all comes back. You know what I mean? Like when we start talking about like the Native American, like North American, like I mean like the North American history, it all comes back to the same thing. Like they have been raping the people and the land and everything all this time. They don't give a fuck, and we gotta stop. We gotta stand up. Like
Because it's about ownership. It's ultimately about ownership. And they have said that part out loud. They plan, they want to own it all. That's
They
what
do.
they've always wanted. They want to own it all. They want to own everything. And there's no need for you, Lucky and Steve and Leo and Peaches and all the crew. There's no reason for you to worry at all. You'll own nothing. We'll own everything, but don't worry.
We'll be happy,
You'll
right?
be happy. Own nothing. It's like Bobby McFerrin, you know. Own nothing.
Oh my
Be
God.
happy now, you know. With
You need
Robin
to do that.
Williams dancing in the video, which is kind of weird to think of it in today's context. But
Yeah, Robin Williams is
rest
like
in peace, Robin Williams. What a great video! If you've never seen the video to that, but I'm going to have to wrap it up here. But oh, these are trying times. I'm so glad to have a fellowship with you all and to be able to try to send out positive vibes and just speak truth from the Mountainese, Appalachian, Cherokee perspective here. I guess I'm going to have to play out something here. Why not? I'll think of something. Why not? That's what I love about the music and the art, you know. When it gets me down, I just like start sketching or coloring or writing or playing or something, right? I mean,
if I didn't have art and music, like I would go insane. I don't think I would even be here.
Yeah.
You know, like I would have just, stepped out.
all right. Well, I don't have any name for this, so I guess we'll call this the Leode. Leode, ode to Leo.
I just want to tell everybody that I'm so grateful for all of you in our community and
Amen.
what we've started here. I mean, look at this. This is so beautiful. Like we need this. This is how we're going to heal. This is how we're going to move forward, and this is how we're going to make a change is by connecting with each other and continuing to fight and keep each other motivated to do it.
Well, everybody knows you have to recharge your smartphone, but you have to recharge your heart phone too. You know what I'm saying? You have to recharge the heart phone. You gotta plug in. You know what I'm saying? You get so low on bars, it's so exhausting, and it's getting harder to deal with people that are, God love them. I mean,
Well, I will tease
just have
you
to turn
guys
them on
with
the way.
something though. There's something really exciting that's going to be happening. And I can't tell anybody yet, and I'm really excited, but there will be announcements very soon.
All right.
So something that's really
without further ado, I guess I'll play out this ode to Leo and I'll get down to Mom and the babies here. So
yes, and you give them extra love and kisses from
of course. So Leo, the Chihuahuan spirit. Yes. I love listening to Steve jam out and listening to him sing. He got me all floated out now. I keep listening to it. I was listening to Follow all day. And I heard him doing the Follow crowd. He's terrible.
He went up to lay down. His head's been hurting him the last couple of days.
heart we know. 'Cause we all love Leo. All right. Not bad. See, it's better when you just improvise. I think that's the first song dedicated to an animal, but it feels good. It was worth it.
Leo, you got your own song. Did you get your own song? You know what? You want to see something really cool though? Look under his chin. Do you see that? It's a heart.
The white heart right there. Yeah, I see that.
Yes, he's he was born with that love.
See, it really wasn't optional. It wasn't like it was my idea. The spirit came and he's like, now you must serenade me. I demand my song. You will give me my ode now, Yona. I am waiting.
And then there's Peaches. Now Peaches is like, hey, I like it too. What do you
we
think?
have a bird clan, so I definitely got to make an Adeliski Anishi squad, one for the bird clan there, no doubt. Peach is keeping it real for my bird clan.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, much love to everybody. Looking forward to round 5. I think I have to close tomorrow night, so I'll work till 11 o'clock. But let's see here. Saturday. Ooh, I'm off all Saturday. Oh, we're gonna have to have an Elton John Saturday night.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Saturday, round 5. So
Yeah.
we covered where we were today. We covered where we are. Saturday, where are we going? Because we're going somewhere. And it's champion land, reserved for winners and good team.
Yeah, that is great.
All right, I love all you guys. Jatak Sesti.
Love
Yuki.
you.
Doda Gohan. See you soon.
Namaste, brother. Give all the love to our other family.
I sure will. Take care.
All right. Oh my gosh, that was really amazing to, have Yona in and, sing for us. I'm going to put the link in here. If anybody wants to join me over here, I would love it. If anybody wanted to come in and hang out. Steve went up to lay down because he's got a headache. Are you going to come on, Charlie? Yeah, Yona is such a kind person, and he brings so much light and love to all of us, and so much knowledge, and I really appreciate that, and how this all formed like so organically. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing to have the support and the love from from everybody, and Yoda. I don't know what I was saying. But yeah, like just the love that we have for each other, and that's what we need like the most right now. We need to be able to appreciate each other and love each other and make it through this together, because without you guys, I don't know how I would make it through this, honestly. gonna pull something up. Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna pull something up on the computer. Let's see. Got this awesome person that makes some really awesome music videos, and they're like, right up our alley.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Toy.
Oops.
Put on the house. And I'm the New World Order. Today we're singing about WikiLeaks. I utterly detest WikiLeaks. How come? They prematurely eradicated my wet dream of President Hillary Clinton and First Lady Bill. Well, at least you ended up with the Dementor in Chief Joe Brandon. Don't be mean, Toidle, or I'll have you demonetized. I've never even been monetized. Then I'll have your coolest comments shadow banned. They already are, though. Then I'll have your channel removed. But then you'll disappear with me. Totally worth it. That's fine, I'll just head over to Rumble, Telegram, Gab, BitChute, Odyssey, Parler, Gab. Whoa, wait a second. We need you here at the Ministry of Truth. Like as a scapegoat? Or an effigy? Yeah, that sounds about right. Wait, so why is the MSM applauding the Hagen for exposing Facebook while other far more profound whistleblowers are being demonized? That's because Hagen's either willfully or unwittingly promoting our agenda. We have to publicly chastise the all-powerful big tech oligarchy for their half-baked community guideline efforts. You mean just basic common censorship? When you put it that way, you sound like a green supremacist. I'm green and proud. Green is beautiful. You're an otter pain in my ass. That songs, my poor Juliet songs, they made an example out of you. That songs, please stay strong. You're the only living martyr I ever knew. Screw your martyrs infinitely if they threaten to expose our war atrocities. Need to know basis is for us, not for thee. Nothing to see here, sheep, just go back to sleep. Crimes of hacking and espionage not be taken lightly. Julian's songs, Julian's songs. Oh, how I long the day you get to go back home. Clearly, the U.S. government cannot simply allow Assange to walk. Otherwise, people like James O'Keefe from Project Veritas will feel reaffirmed in their mission to expose alleged injustices. So you're saying investigative journalism needs to be systematically rooted out? Think of them less as journalists and more as spineless spies threatening the very fabric of our precious totalitarianism. You mean otteritarianism?
Oh my gosh. I absolutely love them. Let me see. I know there's. If I can figure out this whole thing. There we go. So it's Mr. Turtle. He only has 1.45K subscribers, guys. This guy needs more subscribers. He is awesome. I'm gonna play another video. Give us a little bit of a upbeat. Yeah, let's see. Oh, this looks relevant.
Oh, hey guys, this is Mr. Turtle in the house. Welcome to Mr. Turtle's Conspiratorial Tutorials. In a nutshell, never before has a conspiracy theory gone so far mainstream.
Oh no.
As a curious case of Jeffrey Epstein. Quick recap. Epstein is the guy who would lure very powerful people to his pedo island, secretly film them in compromising situations. His ties with various intelligence agencies suggest this was a scheme to blackmail high-profile individuals. Bill Clinton was on board Epstein's famous Lady Express at least 26 whopping times. On taking a closer look at Epstein's dealings, it becomes clear that he was merely a pawn and that the real power belonged to his girlfriend. How do you pronounce that name? Let's just call her Jiz for now. In order to fully understand Epstein, we need to follow the trail of Jiz. Her father was Robert Maxwell. If you don't know who he is, I suggest you look him up. Basically, Epstein was recruited by Jiz to follow in her father's footsteps. As to what really happened to Epstein, most of us think he was suicided or faked his own death, perhaps with the help of his beloved Jiz. I mean, nobody believes Epstein committed suicide using dozens of orange jumpsuits, and the cameras just happened to die the moment he switched off, and the guards conveniently took a nap, and his cellmate was this guy. I mean, he looks like a nice dude. I mean, apart from him committing a quadruple homicide. Well, we all make mistakes, right? Anyways, forgive and forget. I can really picture the powers that be shaking in their boots once they realized that the plebs weren't eating up their boo poopy. Then George Soros emerged from the shadows and said, "It's time to release the coronavirus. Take care of yourselves, people! Coronavirus is gonna kill us all!" Hey guys, it's Mr. Turtle in the house. Welcome to the third episode of Mr. Turtle's Conspiratorial Tutorials. In a nutshell, today we're talking about creepy Uncle Joe Biden. Well, to be accurate, we're singing a song. And it goes a little something like this. Find yourself an entry in the den of a lion, and you start praying till it's Vina inside it. Your eyes begin to widen. Look out for your children. There he is standing and grinning on the horizon. The mighty Titan has your children frightened of you, clawing and scratching, crying and fighting. The big bastard's no time for deciding. How about you don't have your kids stand right beside him? I really am high, keep it secret and not confide in. There's something not quite right in the mind of Joe Biden. It's all in plain sight, he's not all that great at hiding. His hands be a slipping and a sliding, a paws be paragliding. Henceforth we should always call him creepy Uncle Joe Biden. Keep your kids out of reach from creepy Uncle Joe Biden. How long will this carry on? Creepy Uncle Joe Biden.
Thank you so much. We're going to exit out this way.
I hope you enjoyed
Thank
it
you.
as much as I did. See you back home, I hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay?
So how's that, guys? You like Mr. Turtle? I love it. Mr. Turtle and the Brave New Otter are absolutely fantastic. This guy is super, super talented. And I think that everybody should go subscribe to him and leave him a comment and tell him that he needs to come on Fearlessly Authentic because he's brilliant. What a brilliant, brilliant thing that he does. I mean, his play on words, everything like that he does. I am so impressed with him. Let me see. Maybe there's probably another one. I should play another one. Because, I just love this guy. Oh yeah, there was some. Oh God, I love both of these. All right, we'll do this one right now.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Toil in the house.
I'm the New World Otter. Today we're singing a little song about my namesake.
But before we get started, I just want to test out this joke real quick. So we went to AOC's masterclass on how to be a decent human being. It taught us nothing.
I've been dreaming of a place for gender and race and nuclear family.
Your Marxist dream state sounds more like a dystopian nightmare to me. Hear me out, I'm not gonna shout, but censor you necessary. If your logic added up, you wouldn't have to shut me up and just agree to disagree. Freedom isn't free, its price is hefty, you'll own nothing than be happy. You wanna live in such life, just book yourself a flight, now become game or Beijing.
It's your New World Otter. Why I ought to give a polygraph. I ain't lying, get in line, you half-shelled whippersnapper. Just to end this chapter, you're my least favorite Toidle rapper.
Yeah, Mr. Toidle, I'll exploit your last oil slick. You ain't without your toy totalitarian. Big tech sets your precious New World Order. New World Order for equality. She had to rebrand it as a great reset. Feeling poverty is lost on me. Not just New World Order. Fix the high heavens, it's plain to see. Yes, we had to rebrand it as a great reset, although wrestling fans disagree. Our precious New World Order, for equality. She had to rebrand it as a great reset. Feeling poverty is lost on me. Hey guys, it's Mr. Toidle in the house, and today we're singing about MK Ultra. It's totally important to be positive these days, so long as it's not with Corona. Thank you for taking this.
precious time from your day. I'm feeling blessed with life in the most positive way. Just want to spread the good news. I'm in control of my mind. Just gotta say hi to you. You're like a duck in the news. And I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. Great. Girl, truck. Been better, not great. I've come almost to see girl, truck. Man, sure you got a day.
Not ruling anything out.
Girl, truck.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Uncle Sam should make a clean break before Aunt Tifa tries to take the whole cake.
Listen to your Aunt Tifa.
95 for my handler, but I don't really mind. Control the things that you can. Don't let it eat you inside. You can forgive and forget, like when Bill apologized.
More ways than one.
It's not royalty. Residuals through my life, and I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. Girl, truck. It's way too late.
You guys have got to try the cold chai.
I already told you. I dissociate like a black ops soldier. I'm actually kind of sad, but you would be too with this hand up your ass.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I have to rush and get to it before I get Tucker Carlson on the screen or something. How does it even come to Tucker Carlson? I don't watch the dude.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Title.
Oh my gosh. I hope you guys like his stuff. I find it absolutely hilarious, and I cannot believe that he is not super popular, and everybody that's in the left media sphere is not playing him. I'm like, this is just nuts. I have not watched all of his things, and every time I come in here I'm like, I should watch more of these. All right, I'm gonna play another one.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Toydo in the house. And I'm the New World Order. Today we're singing about the pandemic. Pandemic. Yeah, that's what I said. You said plandemic. No, I didn't. Anyways, a plandemic is a form of biological warfare aimed at a populace. It's essentially a mass psyop that allows for government to justifiably expand its powers in order to protect the citizenry. That's clearly not what's going on with Corona. Yeah, well, the WHO investigated and categorically expunged the Wuhan lab leak theory altogether after China said it was impossible. The mere mention of that could get this video removed, Mr. Total. Why don't you just start with your stupid song? Why don't you get the shell out of my face? Why, I oughter...
People stay calm, it's all part of the pandemic. Democratic leadership is totally doing all they can. Gotta nurture healthy discourse like you're watering a pandemic. Approaches show us culture can really influence a stance.
It started off okay, I guess, but I'm starting to get the feeling this is mostly gobbled. It's like you've carefully crafted these rhymes of sophistry merely as an excuse to repeat the word plan.
Make a difference if it were an accident or pandemic. Cabal forces fortified in an invisible hand. Life lacking basic freedoms is a hassle and it's pandemic on face palms, building castles in the sand. It's where you'll always find me, even if the thought is banned. Can't let the powers that be descend into disability. Powers that be descend into disability.
This is Mr. Turtle, the singing turtle. So we're going to do Saturday 10:01 to 12:01. Oh my goodness. Yona, you're an early bird. So yeah, Bella, you should go over and subscribe to them. Like, they're only got 1.4K subscribers. Like, I feel like I found a little gem, you know? And make sure you leave him a comment and tell him that, you know, found out about him from us, and so we can get him to come on. Yeah. Oh, Yona, I guess I didn't show you these guys before, huh? Like, oh my God, I love them. Yes. Abraham, I think you're right. Tucker Carlson must love Mr. Turtle. Oh, and we're going to cover the Rainbow Prophecy on Saturday. That is awesome. And Yona, this is so true. We are the good guys. We win in the end. Don't forget and take heart. Have courage. You know you are blessed. Yona, we are blessed to have you and everybody else that is here. You guys make you guys make everything just so much easier through this craziness. You know, like, I think about it and I'm like, wow, you know, before all this started, we were just kind of like going through life and just doing our thing and not, you know, like paying attention, but not to the level that we are now. And, you know, I would watch the streams and I wasn't as active like in the chats and everything before. And then I just started like, oh my God, I just have to get on there and say something because you know, I want everybody to be better, and I want to challenge everybody and critique, and the reason why is because I want it to be better. I want us to do better and to go together forward and, you know, make an actual difference and stop like letting the distractions and you know, the falsehoods and the stereotypes and the labels and the boxes and everything that people use. Like, we need to let those things like go and stop worrying about the freaking bullshit and the distractions. It's not getting us anywhere. It's not helping us. I don't know. It you know, it can be so heartbreaking to see people that you know online and that you're like, oh my God, they're kicking ass and they're supporting, you know, what matters. And then you see the side distraction of it, and like seeing that, you know, everybody definitely needs to address things that happen for sure, but not focusing on it. You know what I mean? If we focus and we put our energy and our time towards like everybody else, all the haters, then that's, you know what I mean? Like, they're winning in that. And we do need to address things and say like, hey, that's not right or whatever. But you know what I say? I don't give a fuck. I don't care what anybody else really, you know what I mean, that is not there in a helpful way, or is not, you know, that is not being authentic and true. I don't really give a fuck what they have to say. Like, if they don't want to take me for who I am, they don't want to take you for who you are, then they don't deserve to have such a beautiful person in their life. And we all need to realize that and accept that, you know, like, there's a difference between when you let your ego drive you and when you know who you are and what you are, like who you are as a person and how you care about people and how your intentions, you know, your intentions matter. And I think people get very caught up in trying to, like, not feel like they're being too egotistical or, whatever it is. And we get lost in that, and we need to acknowledge our strengths. Like, we all have them, and don't let, someone else's judgment of that change who you are. Don't let them put their will on you or their labels on you. Like, we need to be strong within ourselves too, and know who we are, and say, I don't give a fuck. You don't like me? That's like, your loss. Because I know who I am, and I know that I'm here, and I'm going to contribute to this world, and I'm going to do it with love. Sometimes it's like, hard love, and you have to be but you gotta say things the way that you gotta say them, the way that people need to hear them. Because not everybody's going to hear everything the same way. You got to be able to feel that room out and know, how someone's going to respond to something. And if you keep saying the same thing in the same way and they're not getting it, then you need to change your approach. All right, I'm going to see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see. Oh, you guys are talking about Donziger? Is that what's happening? We are support networks that will be relied upon for survival. Sorry to be so heavy. No, that's, like, it's important. We can't avoid the heavy shit just because it's hard, just because it's hard to process, or we don't want to deal with it, because that's what got us here, right? If we tackle that heavy shit and then we find balance in it and keep each other, like, afloat while we're going through the heavy shit, we can tackle it together. And we have to tackle it no matter how hard it is and how much we want to say, no, I don't want to fucking deal with this. That's what's happened in the generations past. There hasn't been enough of a movement to care, or the propaganda has been so thick, that people, they just went, when they went numb or absent or robotic. That's what I refer to certain family members of mine. I, absolutely love and adore them. But there's a lot of people that are just stuck on, like, what the stereotype of an American dream, that whole American dream. And it's not even, we we aren't America. like Yona and I were saying this earlier. I'm like, we live on the continent of North America. We don't get to claim that this is ours. That's colonialism. That's the same thing. That's part of the problem. And, like, so that's why I'm like, we need to challenge our mindset and the way we think about things and the way we say things. Because of that, because we don't want to be, if we're trying to be part of the solution, then we need to recognize the ways that we are not being part of that solution, how we are perpetuating the same thing that has gotten us here. And we gotta focus on the heavy, and then we gotta focus on the balance of that too, and have a safe space where we can tackle the heavy shit. But if we got power in numbers. I appreciate you coming on and dropping the heavy shit, because we need that. As much as it's not comfortable, we need that. Oh, Bella, you're awesome. Choosy. You are a man of some wisdom. And you need to come on the stream and you need to, school us on some shit. Because you say it in the chat, and that's why I started this stream. The show is because like we say things in the chat, and because they can get like, like it happens so fast, and like it's easy to lose those things. But if we share them in the way that people digest them, Mr. Choosy. You guys should check out his channel. He's got some stuff on there. And let's see what you said. You can't give a Stanziger without a sign. So let's hope the other shoe falls real soon. Yeah. I hope so. I hope that there is enough of a will, enough people that are waking up to what is really happening. Like that's why I want to do a summit, something where it is, we're gathering everybody, not just the healers, not just like, because I think everybody has the ability to be a healer. I mean, maybe some of the robotic freaking psychopaths that we have that are, attempting to control us, like we have to not let them. But everybody can put positive vibes and attention to what is happening around the world. And if we can get everybody to concentrate on that at the same time, the same day, the same whatever it is, whatever time period it is, I think we can make a huge change in this world. It's going to happen. We're going to do it. We're going to do it worldwide. Okay. So I need all of you guys to help me make this happen. It needs to happen. We need to have a worldwide healing. And we can use we have to take the propaganda that's being used against us, and we need to use it to our benefit. So we got to think about, the way that they have all the propaganda going, and they're scaring the shit out of everybody. Well, we have an opportunity to use that and use it in a positive light, and use it for the better good of the people. And the way that we can do that is by reaching out to everybody that we know. We all have somebody that's like, got a friend that's got, a friend that, knows somebody with a big platform, or, or whatever. We need to pull out all of our resources, dig deep in your little black books, and find the people that we can really reach out to and get to share this. We got to work out the details, guys, but just start thinking about it now. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Oh yeah, you had Kate's show that must have been on. Yeah, I don't know what facts it was, gamer, but I'm behind in the chat as always. And there's some more Yona wisdom. Let's see. My focus is protecting nature and its greatest treasures, like water and our babies, for examples. Yes, that's absolutely true. Like I won't just like pass this on to the next generation and just say, yeah, yeah, and this is just the state of it, like I won't, my Skyla, my daughter, she's gonna be 18, and a lot of you probably have heard me say this over and over, but she doesn't want to have kids. And the reason why is because of the state of this country, the state of this world. We're failing our children. We're absolutely failing our children. And if you didn't see the stream, there was a marathon stream. Yes. It was about, 8 hours, I think, that we did. And it was, it was really intense. And I'm going to clip it up so that, it's easier to digest. But, in the very beginning, I covered, it was intended to be like, scary, like a school shooting. Fortunately, the kids that had the guns at the school that my daughter used to go to, like in my town, they didn't have real bullets in there. But what's even worse is the failure of the adults and failure of the school system to properly even protect these kids. They handled the entire situation in the worst way. There was no communication. They did the lockdown as if it was for weather. A stay in place order is not the same thing as a lockdown because there is active kids on campus that they didn't know if they were going to be active shooters. Teachers fumbling, not knowing, keeping the doors unlocked and open, and students trying to call their family and say, whoa, what's happening here? And their phones are being taken away. And these are high school kids. And it's not just like a one building school. It's set up like a college campus. So there's all these different buildings and there's kids going to school and getting let in while this is all happening. And to me, that's just insanity. There's security guards on site. If I used to go there, if I went there, I had to go and check in with security and get a visitor's pass. So why did I have to do that if you're just going to let students walk around and not keep them safe? It's our job. It's everybody's job to keep these kids safe. Whether you're a parent or a caregiver, it doesn't matter. It's our duty as humans to keep these kids safe. And we all need to do it. And it just shows the larger picture of our culture and the United States and how sick we are. We are a very sick country. In more ways than just, physically being ill because there's no health care. The lack of health care also contributes to what is happening at these schools with these kids. Everything can basically be traced back to the U.S. government. And then, think about that. If the U.S. government is the reason for all the things that are happening, then how around the entire world, not just here, not just within, the pretend U.S. borders, these false borders, we really, there is no borders when, we all gotta figure this out together. We really do. Choosy, yes. You hope that Stephen told everybody in prison about peaceful constitutional carnation revolution, which is absolutely true. And we need to have you on to talk about that. We need to have more in-depth conversation where people can really see, see all of that and hear it and understand it in a in a way where we can, we can digest it together because it's a lot. How does Kyle Kuklinski have tremendous power? Did I miss something, guys? The appeal wheels are, yeah, they're not letting anybody in the room for the appeals. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, nobody can be in the fucking appeal tomorrow because of Omicron.
The moronic variant strains again. It's so stupid. Like, I just can't even, like, I really didn't think that they would be able to fuck this up so bad. As in, like, like, fuck over the country, like, and get everybody just to go along with this for so long. Like, when is everybody's breaking point? When is the end gonna be near? Yeah, good one, Steve. Yep, dumpier the variant, the dumpier we get. This is so true. We're already under assault. Rights already being discarded and grows more dire by the day. Biowarfare is being waged against us. Yeah. Yes, we need to. Everybody needs to be putting positive vibes towards Assange for tomorrow. I won't hold my breath. I won't, get my hopes up, but I can freaking, put every ounce of positivity that I can, and we got to remember we have a lot of political prisoners. We also have Commander X, and this is his dog, Sabby. And, it's Leo's twin. And he was ripped apart, from his dog. And I can't imagine. And here, just for fun, that is Leo when he was born. Like, just born in my hand. I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, he's such a little, like, he was the size of a freaking a rat or mouse. Let me see what else you guys said here. Great Spirit brings us together as we speak from one heart the messages of love, care, and concern for each other. And then Steve said, I believe that with my whole heart, Yona. Cool, I can translate.
I absolutely feel that everybody's fucking connected because we're supposed to be.
Oh, man. So if Choozy's over there getting excited about something, he might be thumping his chest, guys. When he's praying. Yona with all the freaking, I can't believe how much you know about languages and how, oh my gosh. I'm so glad that, I insisted that you come on the show. It's been such an amazing thing to be able to see, like, everybody's faces that's come on, and every one of you better realize that you're all coming on here eventually. It's happening. I got some good people, like, that I'm gonna be getting on here. All of you guys. All right, let me see what else. It's like chitty chitty bang bang. The tinkering isn't us, and we've got to come out. You guys are great. Yes. Whatever the age, we need to look out for each other. Do you guys know that you can come on at any time? And there's that link if you want to drop in. Oh, and please make sure that you like and share or all the things, you know, the stream that helps with the algorithm. I know it's probably annoying to hear every content creator say that, but otherwise we don't get, you know, if we don't get enough views or, you know, the time that people like, they keep track of everything, like how long people watch your streams, how many people come in, how many people comment, how many everything. It's insane. It's insane. And that's what makes it you know, that's what gives you a boost on the algorithm. And it's like, yeah, well, what about the smaller channels, you know? Like, I'm okay with organically growing, but you know, like when you're being repressed, it's freaking insane. Yeah, I can't believe they're not letting journalists. I mean, I can believe it, of course. I mean, it's all the variants and all the things, like it's just all big distractions, and they use it for their benefit. So they're going to use this as a, you know, as a benefit to try to push and make more money. They're going to use it as a benefit to cover up their, you know, their crimes. They're going to keep doing it. Yeah, we are in a psyop. Constant. Yeah, gamer, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out if I'm either gonna probably just stay up and watch it. Watch the trial or the updates with Assange. Yona, you and the good weed. What the hell, man? I don't have any right now. Send me some through the, you know, through the universe. Choosy. Your toddler doesn't seem to want to work with any other newer platforms. I'm lucky if I can make it work for YouTube, especially after trying to watch the History Channel regarding the Vatican. Do you guys know? Do you guys see this? Like, Leo literally abandoned me to go upstairs with Steve to lay in bed. Because Leo, he's a lazy little shit. He loves to cuddle and sleep. I love how sometimes Yona calls that as Yoda. I think it's fitting, guys. What do you guys think? He's a wise guy in more ways than one. Okay, I hope that you sleep well, sister. And oh, you have early morning meditation. Ooh, that's awesome. I am not an early morning meditator unless I stayed up, which is more likely what would happen. There's many mornings that I'm like, oh, I should go to sleep before that sun comes up. It's harder to go to sleep after the sun's up. as hard as I am on myself, I decided to like it, but only because of Lucky Leo and Steve. Don't be hard on yourself. Know that you are loved and that you're making a difference. All of us are, just by intention and thought, just by supporting each other. You know, like we don't even have to say anything to each other. The universal energy is there. And I don't know if everybody heard the other night or the other day, I don't know, one of the one of the streams. I think it was the last one that we did. Oz Whistles is taking a break from like social media and stuff like that right now. And he said he was very grateful for all of our, support in getting through this. And he brought tears to my eyes. So please, guys, please keep Oz Whistles in your hearts, and send him some positive energy. We all need this right now. We need to stick together. It's the only way we're going to make it through it. And I know I keep saying that, but it's true. Let's see. Oh no. Choosy. Causing trouble out there watching shit about the Vatican. I've been watching stuff about Scientology. That is some freaking crazy shit. I did not realize how deep that was, how much there was to it. You just hear the yeah, they believe in alien shit and they're weird or whatever. And, if you just listen to the surface level of what people say, you miss all that depth of what they're doing. It's nuts. It's nuts. And then from there, been looking into the Jehovah's Witness, and we'll have to do a whole stream on, the religions and, how that all ties into. Marcus, saw you were live. I wanted to hop in and say hi. Can't stay. Gotta hop up super early. Aw. Much love, brother. I hope you're still here to hear that. You guys, make sure you go over to Marcus's page and subscribe. He had Shadowban on and Jack Seth and Seth. I can never say his name right. But Jack, he is like the crypto master. And Shadowban has been doing some amazing work, guys. And he's going to come on the show too. And Marcus, if I didn't tell you already, you're coming on here too. Because nobody is exempt. Yes, we need better supply chains for the stoners. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really surprised at how expensive ganja has stayed. It's insane. I thought that, with it being legal in the states all around us, and us being the last one though, but I thought maybe it would go down a little bit. Oh. Yeah, Kate is such a kind, sweet spirit. When we were on the Roar thing for their Halloween special thing, Kate was on there, and she had the tinfoil hat on, and I looked at Steve, and I'm like, "That is Kate. I think that's Kate." I'm like, "That is her that matches her energy. That's got to be Kate." And I was right. Yes, Marcus, sleep well, brother, if you are still on here. Positive vibes to you. Great show. You guys should go and check out that show yesterday. Seriously. It was really, really interesting. I got to go back and finish watching it. Oh, Kate, you're so sweet. Yeah, guys, Steve is not Steve without Bud. It's really an interesting thing. Let's see. Oh, Leo's up there eating pretzel chips. Yeah. Is he eating a hummus too? Well, I'm glad that you're doing good, Marcus. That's awesome. What is this? Choosy. Find the article. Values of April 45 years since Portugal overthrew fascism. Highlight the important bits and let's talk about them. Raise the bar with power. All right, Choosy. I'm gonna, you should help me. At least send me some stuff. Because you know what good resources there is. Like I don't know where, like all the resources are that, are reliable ones. So you should send some information to stevecutlerlive@gmail.com because he checks that email. And I'm not good about checking email. That's cute. Marcus says that Steve and Leo need to make a song. Yona did one. Let me see. I wrote the timestamp down, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to do that because, sometimes these streams get long. And then I have to, I want to make, I want to go back and, clip it up a little bit. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to do that now, Yes, Gamer, you are absolutely right. Cannabis is a healing plant. We love Oz. We do love Oz. Yes, we do. Much love to him. I feel like I'm really far behind, guys. Yeah, Tuesday. There's always like definitely stuff going around about the turpentine things and toxins and the cartridges. No matter what it is, always know your source. Whatever it is that you're ingesting, whether it be things like cannabis oil to your food to anything. Charlie Brown won't come and hang out with me. I understand, Charlie. Much love to you, brother. I have completely enjoyed our streams so much, and I really want you to know how much they really mean to not just me, but to everybody as a larger whole. Because when we talk about these things and we talk about the things that are taboo or whatever, we take that that power of the people that think of it as taboo or think that we shouldn't talk about those things or we shouldn't do those things. We take that power back. And we're not going to let them have that. So if we talk about the things that, like our mental health and, like the real, the traumas that we've been through and all of that, it's therapeutic, not only for us, but it's therapeutic for others. And I feel like it sets a path for down the road where other people, we're setting it up for other people to not have to deal and not have to fight so much for that. Now, does that make sense? Yeah, we are a family. We are absolutely a family. I so appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. So they're telling people to go to dispensaries and beware cartridges. Yeah. It's always be aware of the streets. Beware the streets. Beware the streets. They're not regulated. Because regulation works, right? Like I said, it's just always about knowing, your source of where you're getting something. Yeah. Like Steve said. Rest up, Charlie Browns. We need you fit and rested. Yeah, Gamer, have you dived into the Scientology at all? There's a movie, actually, I watched it last night, and it's called Going Clear, and it's kind of like, it's a few years back that they did it, and then Leah Remy just did like a series a couple years ago on it, and there's some really interesting things, and the way that they make it seem in some of those is that, like, in Clearwater, Florida, they've kind of like taken over this whole town and all this and that. And there's a guy I was watching that does a stream down there. He's actually running for, I believe it's city council down there in Clearwater. And he's like, there's not as many Scientologists as you think there are here. They make it seem like there's so many, but it's not really as many as they say there is. So I'm like kind of like in this deeper dive right now with the Scientology. So if you guys have any good resources that you know of, let me know, because it's always it's a challenge to find resources that you can trust. I'm not used to doing research, like not like that, and I don't want to give any information out that's false. Let's see. What are you saying? Yes. Pretzel chips. You've never heard of pretzel chips? Gamer, what are you doing? What are you missing out on? Oh, Marcus, I am on Eastern time, and I'm a night owl on Eastern time, and it's like I'm a West Coast night owl. So, yeah, just you can either send an email to stevecutlerlive@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on the Twitters or whatever, and we can switch information. Yes, I love pretzel chips with hummus. Yeah, you should try some different snacks, Gamer. Yeah, we just remember though, just because it's organic doesn't make it good for you. But if you're gonna eat junk, at least try to eat organic junk, I guess. Steve and the teenager on occasion get the Doritos and the stuff, and they get the organic one. I'm just like, all right, guys. Well, let's see what else you guys are saying over here. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some Scientology. Yeah, Noli was telling Marcus about like how she's got friends that go outside the Scientology building in LA, and they film out there. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I don't want to get on their radar, but I think they got bigger fish to fry right now. All this stuff in the court cases that is happening and all that, and like, holy shit. Like the more that I saw videos about like Tom Cruise on there and everything, I'm like, dude is really like, he is entangled in that. Like, it's bad. The guy like is completely, he sounds completely psychotic. Yeah, the big blue building. That big blue building is insane looking. It's creepy looking because it's blue. The Scientology building. We watched a Jerry video the last stream, and it was great because it's Jerry with the when he puts his finger into the cake with all the frosting, and he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna eat that cake, but he just takes a little thing of frosting, and then they tell him it's got like, all kinds of acid in it. Oh, cool. Yeah, that building is so creepy. Oh my gosh. I think if it wasn't just solid blue like that, it wouldn't be so weird. But like from the stories I've heard, like it's like really infested and really just not a healthy place to live at all. I mean, from what I've seen too about like, their Sea Org and all that, like the it's like it's like he took like the goal of the United States American colonialism and like turned it into his own thing with it, like with science fiction tied in. Yeah, the building would probably still be strange, huh? Yeah, it's a weird building. It's always going to be probably like, just weird because, I mean, can you imagine the energy there? The energy there has got to be so strange. Gamer, are you on Discord? Marcus, were you here earlier? Did you see Mr. Turtle? You got to see Mr. Turtle. Let's see. Let's see. Which one should we do? Oh my gosh. This one's really funny.
No, not Viagra. Today we're singing about the
Vaseline?
Are you just gonna keep naming random products starting with the letter V?
All right, let me start this. There we go. And let me share that. Yep, I hit the wrong button. New to this whole like StreamYard thing. All right, is that on there now? There we go. All right, I'm gonna play this for you guys.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Turtle in the house.
And I'm the New World Order.
Today we're singing about the
Viagra?
No, not Viagra. Today we're singing about the
Vaseline?
Are you just gonna keep naming random products starting with the letter V?
Sorry, I'm contractually obligated to shout out my paid sponsors. Go ahead, Mr. Toidle, tell us about today's topic.
Ugh. Today we're singing about the
Vagina?
Fine. Today we're singing about the vagina.
What about the vagina?
Is it safe? Also long term?
Well, I got the vagina yesterday and I've never felt better.
Are you okay? Sounds to me like you're coming down with something.
Well, now that you mention it, I had a funky smelling discharge this morning and I'm feeling somewhat queefy.
You mean queasy?
Nope, you heard right, but it can't possibly have anything to do with the vagina. No way, no how. Too many people have vouched for it. Hey, wait a sec. What about you, Toidle? When did you get your vagina?
I didn't.
What? And you're sitting here next to me this whole time unvaginated? How utterly irresponsible.
My body, my choice.
So you're saying you don't lick vagina?
I totally lick vagina. I'm just not convinced of this particular vagina.
You know, it's people like you that keep the cock lockdowns going, refusing to be experimented on, making silly references to the Nuremberg Code.
So you're telling me your vagina doesn't work if I don't get it?
You people make me sick.
Or is it possible you got wrecked by the vagina?
Oh, you mean Beatrice Beaver? Man, I actually believe she was an otter there for a minute. She's a huge fan of otter erotic asphyxiation.
Before I break through onto the LGBT scene, cases are rising among Stockholm syndrome normies. Save your oxide from shifty magnetic graphene. You know I won't bow down to the crown vagine.
It's time for booster number 17. Cling to be 4 times it that toidally your thing. Natural impunity, pig farmers lobbying. It's fun, guinea pigs love your vagine.
So when the naval held their mandate, coercion, perversion without liability, hard from taking part in sheepish society, unless I submit to their long-term study.
Well, please show at least some solidarity. You're for sure more than satire and parody. Just 2 more weeks to fatten the elites. We're Big Farmer and you are the sheep.
Now it's plain to see. The CDC.
Come on, Mr. Toidle. Please get the vagina. I'll give you a Krispy Kreme pie.
You mean donut?
Nope. How about a special limited edition Avengers comic book?
Damn it, Otter, I'm not getting the vagina.
Okay, fine. But how about the vajayjay or vagine, the twat, the penis flytrap, the muff, the beaver, the minge, the bits, the lady garden, the whispering eye, the doodah, the meat curtains? Nothing? None of the above?
I've decided against it. I don't want to run the risk of becoming infoidal. Besides, someone needs to be part of a control group.
So there. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like these guys, like they don't have that many subs, and like people need to know them. Marcus, you are welcome. These guys are so fantastic. I absolutely love them. I know. I feel like I found like a little gem in I actually sent Steph Zamorano, Jimmy Dore's lady there, his wifey. I sent her the vagina one actually, because you know she does fancy vagina Fridays. All right, I have someone else to share with you guys, and I know some of you guys know who Alex is, but this guy is so funny. let's see. Which one do we want to watch? No, that's not it. Oh, this one is so funny.
Doris Brown is 103 years old. How did she get to be so old? Was it diet or exercise? I tend to think it's the spirits of these Native American decorative plates that have been watching over her. Are these plates problematic? Maybe. But she's 103, so shut the fuck up. If there's anyone that gets to reduce an entire race to a mere decoration while living on their stolen land, it's absolutely this cute old white woman. And then there's some other stuff on the wall, like these swords, and this photo of a kid who used to have hope for his future, and this cowboy hat, which maybe puts the Native American motif into perspective. Then you turn around and you got the clowns. Which I mean, yikes. And they live in the cave where the old TV used to be. So also yikes. And you can watch them from this chair, which is such an old woman chair. And then there's the life alert, which is basically useless because she's never gonna die. And this letter from the Pope. Because I guess they do that when you pass 100 and spend your whole life funneling money to a pyramid scheme founded on a lie. But she doesn't like when I say that.
Alex!
And it comes with amenities, like these boats, and a creepy basement, and then a second, creepier basement. But the best amenity is when you sit down, she'll just make you a sandwich. And you can't stop her, so you don't even feel bad about making a woman who was born in 1917 wait on you like you're a prince. And then for dessert, you can raid the weird candy drawer she has in the fridge. Then you can ask her questions like, what was it like when JFK got shot? And she'll say something like,
It was very sad.
Or you can ask, how was the Great Depression? And she'll say,
It was very tough time because I remember going with my friend in a wagon to go to the town hall and get extra. They said it was butter, but it was not. It was margarine or lard or whatever it was.
Or you can ask, what do you think of your grandson, Alex? And she'll say,
I love him very much, and he's my favorite.
And I guess from some of the decor, you might say this person's a little kooky. But actually, she has more of her mind left than anyone else in the family. Except me, I guess, because I have an iPhone and she has a jitterbug. But maybe I'm wrong because she keeps it simple. No 4G LTE, no lock on the bathroom door, no microwave, although she did have one. I just took it when I went away to college and never gave it back. Maybe the secret to such longevity is to not stress out about stuff. Does it go together in any way? Not really. But does it spark joy?
Does it start what?
Does it spark joy?
Yeah.
Is it perfect? No. But also, yeah, at the same time. And is she perfect? Yes. And she will never die. So I wouldn't change a goddamn thing. Although I guess she should probably put a lock on the bathroom door.
I don't care. If anybody wants to see me taking a crap, let them be my guest.
Hey, Nanny, I'm taking a shit! Doris Brown is the most stylish woman over the age of 100 in this part of New England. Known throughout one senior center for her blend of comfort and chic, Doris knows how to work the runway. You use that, Kane, girl. Let's start with her signature piece, the blue vest. Cozy and warm in only a specific area of the upper body, it's the perfect attire for sending money to any charity that asks for it. Now for something less formal, this floral pattern. Man, this woman really has a love-hate relationship with sleeves. You want to see arms? Just wait for the evening wear. Now let's head to the boutique. You've got this backup blue vest, this backup blue vest, this backup blue vest. Wait, that's not right. There, better. But what if you want to do flowers but less of them? Or sell a used car? Or have it be Easter every day? Accessorize with these beads she got at Catholic Mardi Gras. Feel like you're gonna get too wild, you might lose your socks? Wanna look buff? Try these shoulder pads from her time in the NFL. Tired of shopping? Wanna take a load off? Crack open a prune juice, grab a cupcake, and head to Doris's karaoke corner.
It's called the Dance Floor, and here's what it's for. So come on, folks, let your body move to the music. Hey, 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 come on, go.
But you want to know a secret? All the good stuff's in the basement. An elegant life jacket, these dresses, one of which might be her wedding dress, and some tiny pants on a tiny demon. Just don't get trapped in the basement by the evil spirits. Want to start a Prince cover band? Not enough time to put on your grandma bolo tie? How about a stylish blue blazer? Fixed it. Want to do cocaine on a boat? Want to show everyone everything? Just look around for ideas from some of Doris's style inspirations. Pope Francis, this woman getting the vapors, the hunk who's responsible, the Princess Diana Beanie Baby, and her grandson, me, who's wearing a vest. So let's try some stuff on. The doors in this house already make every room a changing room. Try not to get distracted by this guy staring blankly into the abyss, or Jesus. Just don't awaken the tiny demon. Crap, you just did a Freaky Friday. Now curl that hair and put on these sandals, so you definitely won't lose your socks. And go out to pick up some more prescriptions. But first, ask the fashionista some questions like, is it easy to put on clothes?
Not really.
Or what was fashion like in the Great Depression?
Well, you only bought one dress from W.T. Grant's, which cost $2. So you wore that one quite often.
Or do you like the way your grandson dresses?
Not really. I like the more formal.
So come on over and find that new look at Doris Brown's boutique. She definitely has more than enough blue vest to spare. Is she Vera Wang?
Zero Rang.
Vera Wang.
I don't know what that means. Oh, I don't even know who she is. How can I say?
No. But is she Macy's?
Oh, I like Macy's.
Yeah. And in my eyes, she's a style icon. Though maybe that's just because I love her. But you probably do too. I noticed you didn't have any shirts that had clowns on them. Here you go.
Oh, how nice. Oh, I like it. I love it because my grandson gave it to me.
What do you actually think about the shirt?
It's cool.
Do you like it better now?
It feels much better, yes.
Don't go breaking my heart.
I won't go breaking your heart.
Don't go breaking my heart. Wait. Don't go breaking my heart. Heart. Doris Brown is turning 104, and you're invited to the biggest rager
I'm going to show you guys a couple more.
Dude. Located just an 18-hour drive off campus from Florida State University, bring your own solo cup and mix some tequila with Ensure, cause this woman's about to get wasted and talk about how handsome I am. Some people are saying the Pope might even be there. So set your baseball cap to sideways, cause you're gonna get so turned you need to use a cane. Out here we ball so hard, you bet your ass the cops are gonna get called, cause karaoke's cranked up to 104 and the fire department's already on standby. She doesn't have a real ID anymore and looks closer to 19 than her real age, so chip in a few bucks so she can afford the underage drinking citation. Just make sure somebody hides the drugs. Get there early for an exclusive set from DJ Doris as she proudly plays my uncle's CD from this sound system, and a surprise set from the corded phone ringing loud enough for her to hear. And our headliner, the guy who always whips out an acoustic guitar at the party, Doris.
How do you like my voice, Alex? Music all day, Hollywood, or maybe Broadway, or maybe the Dump.
Be a part of the biggest disaster to happen in this town by standing with more than 3 other people on this rickety deck. But we all know the real party's underground. Just don't forget to bring 8 jackets, and don't turn your back on this creep. Afterwards, go back upstairs and watch her take 1 sip of Four Loko, which is more than enough for her. Just don't let her talk you into joining a fraternal order of the Catholic Church. There's no lock on the bathroom door, so that situation's gonna be a nightmare. And don't even bother with beer pong, cause Doris will run the table. And you're gonna be waiting all day for her to pass this bong. She's been smoking weed every day since 1933. Look it up. Molly used to be called Doris. Oh great, she's trying to text Pope Francis. Put the cordless phone down and get down on the dance floor. Just not too down, cause this carpet's gonna be 25% beer. Oh no, the shrooms kicked in. Want to crash? Just obnoxiously pull out this couch and take up 50% of the free space in the entire house. Doris, for the last time, we're not going to Taco Bell. Wait, did we just go to Taco Bell?
Okay.
Well, make sure you're not behind her in the bathroom line. But I guess while you're waiting, you can ask this party animal some questions. Like, how are your hangovers?
How are they? They're not too good.
Or what were parties like in the Great Depression?
Oh, well, we used to have some pretty good ones. I don't know where we got all the wine. We must have stole it from somebody's cellar.
Or do you think your grandson is the life of the party?
He could be if he wanted to.
So come to Doris's 104th birthday rager and puke into one of the tiny hats she displays in the bathroom. How many other fake 104th birthday parties are you fake invited to? Look, it's gonna be crazy as hell. Is she Snooky?
What do you mean, Snooky? Oh, no, I'm better looking than her.
Well, you can't argue with that. Look, I think the reason she's lived so long is because she doesn't take a single day for granted, and she's never forgotten how to have a good time. She might be old as hell, but she's still the life of the goddamn party. How old are you now? How old are you now? How old are you now? Are you 1? Are you 2? Are you 3? Are you 4? Are you 102? Are you 103? Are you 104?
Yes. Help me blow these out. You ruined the cake. It got a lot of junk on top.
I'll wipe it off.
Oh, boy. You're not going to eat this one.
Okay.
In the internet criminal justice system,
I'm gonna let this one play, and then I
self-promotion-based
promise
offenses are considered
we'll
especially
stop.
heinous. On Reddit.com, the dedicated amateur police officers who half investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the moderators of the videos subreddit. The number one advice I can give for succeeding in America is to have money. If you can't afford a good lawyer, or in this case, marketing person, you're not going to get anywhere. So like many Americans that don't have corporate backing, I am forced to put on one of my dad's old suits and defend myself against laws that are deeply broken and favor the rich. I stand accused of posting my own things in the third person, having people give them an initial amount of upvotes so they make it out of the news section, and using Reddit to promote my things. My opening argument. I did it. Of course I did it. I had to. Because you know who else does the crime? Everyone. If you don't give it that initial boost, nobody ever sees it on the entire internet. The whole system is broken, and I played by the real rules. You think Coca-Cola doesn't want you to watch this hard-to-believe Sprite ad from 1999? I'm competing with real, actual marketing firms, and I stand accused of being manipulative and slimy? Slimy I get, because apparently I'm a lawyer now. But manipulative? I would argue I'm not manipulative, because I got caught. That implies I'm bad at being manipulative. Apparently, big businesses get away with theft, and regular people who shoplift to eat get the death penalty. I had to self-promote, because I was getting 0 views, and now that I did it, I get some. Look, I'm not making any money doing this, and I'm not in a position powerful enough where I could just take bribes from Sprite. I'm fine with that. All I ever wanted was a chance to entertain you. If you're gonna be so cynical when someone asks you for their first view, then you deserve to watch commercials. One time, I posted a video I made about overcoming depression to a depression-related subreddit. I had come to that community before when I was feeling down, and I thought my video could help other people going through the same things. And then I got permanently banned from the subreddit for people with mental health issues over 30, with the message, "Don't promote your rubbish on this sub." Boy, is it hard out here for a pimp. Look, there shouldn't be a system where cops are also judges, who are also kings, who rule over a kingdom of videos. When I told them I was being harassed, they said, "This is a later problem for me right now," which is something a bad cop would do. When I tried to appeal my case, they responded, "This is a hilariously bad argument," which is something a bad judge would do. When I cited Reddit's own moderator guidelines regarding appeals, they muted me for 28 days, which is something a tyrant would do. Because guess what? It is a monarchy. The whole internet is a series of monarchies, and they can decide who can talk and who can't. It's a matter of speech because these aren't small communities anymore. They hold a public obligation, but not technically. So I guess we all need to get used to rash decisions made by two anonymous people with no real accountability representing tech companies. Well, I guess we're all screwed. My closing argument. I was denied a fair and impartial appeal, and therefore that makes this a mistrial. Besides, I already won. I won because I tried to be nice. I'm less nice now, but my first instinct was to send a polite message. And your first instinct was to be total jerks that refuse to listen to me. Yeah, I committed your bullshit crime. But like, do you even like videos? Or do you just like power? I'm not sorry I did it. You enable the system that makes it so I have to. I have nothing to be sorry for. People like my videos, and people like me, and the only people that are going to be upset with me are some of the meanest, least compassionate people on the internet. So I win. Ha!
I cannot help but love Alex. Oh my gosh, he just cracks me up. Like, I can't even believe it. I came across him randomly, and he doesn't live like that far from Steve and I. And oh, look at I didn't even like that video. What? I've watched it a few times too. But yeah, he's been on the show with us before. It was on Steve's. Where'd it go? It was Steve's show. But oh my gosh. He's seriously, you guys make sure you go and check him out. Oh my gosh, I'm going to play you guys a couple more. I know I said I wasn't going to, but you know, it's like almost 2 a.m. my time. And after we had the heavy conversation, I want to play some Alex.
If anyone says the age of any other person out loud, it reminds me that I am Father Time, withering away at the age of 32. I am ancient, and very soon I will die of old age. And if anyone, and I mean anyone, tries to say, that's not that old, I will say, shut up, especially on my birthday. Because I'm about to enter a spiral of despair that's so destructive it will cause everyone else to say, wait, if that guy thinks he's old, then that means... So welcome to the party. The only games we got are Pin the Tail on the Wikipedia pages of famous people that are younger than me, and the game of musical chairs, where every year less and less people write happy birthday on my Facebook wall. I'm having so much fun, you might just hear my catchphrase. Kill me. It's my Hakuna Matata, and today, nothing's gonna stop me from having conflicted feelings about my own mortality, and having flashbacks to the days of my youth. That looked exactly like this because I also wasted them lying on the couch, fantasizing about the places I could have went, friends I could have made, and weird shit I could have done if I didn't spend that time doing nothing. And it makes me so upset that I go out to the ledge and think about what it would be like to jump, to explode when I hit the ground. At least then I'll have finally done something. You might think I'm being dramatic and say, but Alex, you've done a lot of weird shit. But I'll say, it's never enough. I can't help feeling stuck, trapped by feelings of inadequacy. 'Cause it's 2021, baby. Life's a competition and I'm losing. And I'll complain, everyone has it better than me. And when people say stuff like, I'm going blind, I can't hear, I can tell you when it's gonna rain because my arthritis hurts, I won't be listening. Because I'll be too busy looking at the LinkedIn pages of the people I went to high school with, somehow finding a way to be jealous of the minions that work in insurance. I am broken and full of antidepressants, while everyone else is living the perfect life. I am garbage, and not even a goodie bag full of ketamine will fix me. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Why work towards building a foundation for true happiness when I can just eat this entire cake? Maybe then I won't feel so empty.
Hi, Alex. Adoration birthday cloud. How you doing today, Alex? Happy birthday.
I can't be a glass 2/3 full kind of guy when I know that when the glass is finished, you die. How am I not supposed to cry over spilled milk? Unlike some people, I don't believe in heaven, so it's clear to me that all that awaits us is darkness. The only thing we're destined for is to be in the ground with the worms, because we're all just staring into oblivion. And I, for one, can't help but be terrified by the thought of not thinking.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 32, full of existential dread. I'm that much closer to dead. I hate myself. My life is meaningless. I am severely depressed, and I can't believe I made it to 32.
Eventually, your negative thoughts will tucker you out. When you're less cranky after your nap, you'll remember that you're glad at least one person showed up to your birthday party. Because life is all about making memories with the people you care about, and you shouldn't be so worried about dying that you forget to live.
So you're ready to die?
That's a hell of a question.
What?
I'm not ready, but if it comes, it comes.
So let the present remind you that you're never too old to be young, and it's never too late to leave everyone surprised. Sometimes the world can make you feel small, and people will make you feel bad for not fitting in, but maybe they're the ones that are frozen, and it doesn't mean you need to be frozen too. On the road of life, the best car is the one that doesn't take itself too seriously. If there's anything a tiny Mercedes-Benz will teach you, it's that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It might not have been the smoothest ride, but when my battery shorts out, I'll have a pretty big laugh, because there's no driver I'd rather have had than this fucking idiot. The easiest way to get someone's attention is to say the words Hillary Clinton. And the easiest way to keep someone's attention is to say, if you watch this video until the end, I will show you brand new leaked emails from Hillary Clinton's private server. Okay, now that I've manipulated you, let's talk about how you can help my comedy career. Because as Hill Dog says, it takes a village. Right now, you know what I do? I write, act, direct, and edit. I'm the camera person, lighting person, sound person, marketing person, and catering person. And you know what you do? Watch. That's all you do. And I can't do everything, so I'm putting you to work. Because you owe me. To start, I reached out to my fan Alice and politely asked her to do these illustrations for me. She realized it was her duty to help out, just like it's everyone's duty, because it takes a village. And you know how you can mobilize that village? A telethon! Welcome to the Alex Trainer Basement Telethon, where you'll learn about all the exciting ways you can be more grateful. I'll go into full detail about how you have a personal debt to me that needs to be repaid. In the last 6 months, I've made 2 hours and 10 minutes of content. Therefore, you owe me 2 hours and 10 minutes of labor. It's time you start pulling your weight around here. Cause I can't fucking do it alone! But first, a fan testimonial. A few months ago, I made a video where I showed up at my fan Nick's house and just gave him a ham. And he's never done anything for me, ever. So I decided to pay him a follow-up visit.
Another ham? Dude, like, what the hell's going on? Ham round 2, baby. What do you want me to do? Cook it for you?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't even know. I don't have. Wait, we're going to cook this right now?
No, I'll show you. It's like I have to do these monthly reports, but you know, it takes upload and shit, you know.
I know what you're saying. Sign me up for my mandatory unpaid internship. Here's how to register. In the description, there's a link to a short 69-question Google form for you to fill out. It'll help me identify the best way to utilize you for my own personal gain and then throw you away like you're garbage. We offer 2-hour and 10-minute careers in graphic design, legal advice, marketing, and so much more. Remember, this is a pyramid scheme, so don't forget to share. I'm not talking some weak-ass shit like posting on your Facebook wall. I need you to be Scientology-level aggressive. We're talking about handing out books, seminars, brainwashing celebrities, whatever you need to do. Upon completion of your 2 hours and 10 minutes of temporary slavery, as a thank you, I will memorialize you forever by writing your name in my personal copy of Hillary Clinton's It Takes a Village. Sounds like a good, not optional deal to me. Anyway, another fan testimonial. I recently discovered that Steve, with the YouTube channel Cars Simplified, was a fan of mine. An expert at vehicle repair, from brakes to transmissions, he knows how to do it all. But does he know how to clean my car?
I look to the Genesis, I rock and sleep my body more. The way my parents died, let me fatherless to crime. Illuminati wants my mind, soul, and body. Watch for Herod's crimes. Visions of prophetic times. Blue rays of mine. Jealousy, jury can't take.
All right, that's wet.
So how can you find out more information? Just call the number at the bottom of your screen. Our operators are standing by now. That's 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273. Okay. Wait, so I grabbed the wrong number out of my pocket. That's the number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. The real number is 1-862-BONER-69. That's boner with the 0. 1-862-B0NER-69. Call now. Okay, now moving on to the next fan testimonial. A while ago, I got my fan Adrian to agree to be in one of my videos. But before I did that, I had him record what he thought at the time was a standard video release agreement.
Okay, repeat after me.
I hereby legally revoke my right to sue Alex.
Even if he does a crime?
Even if he does a crime.
Can you say something to the jury of the future to refute whatever you're saying right now?
Today in court, I'm lying to you.
Can you write your signature in the air?
Later that night, I texted him, "I will hunt you like an animal." Then I forgot I did that for 2 months. Then I saw his car and remembered. I followed him for hours, lurking in the shadows, completely undetected. And when the time was right, I made my move.
See, this is the problem.
What?
I recognized your car from a mile away.
God damn it.
I looked to my right and just saw Was that a monster? Why?
Well, what if you don't have the time to help me? Well, that means you have the money, because time is money. Now, what will that money go towards? Let's check it out. Now, I wouldn't spend your money on something frivolous, like groceries. I'm going to spend it on something truly worthwhile. Something I saw at Walmart and immediately knew I had to buy. Thunder Tank. It's perfect, but it's $400. I can't spend $400 of my own money on this, but I can spend yours. So donate now, so I can afford to buy a tiny little tank for me, an adult man, to ride around in. Now on to our final testimonial. People have told me that in order to be successful on YouTube, I need to do something dumb like make unboxing videos, which I don't want to do. So I got my fan Daniel to send me a custom modified Game Boy. And then I got my 104-year-old fan Doris to unbox it for me. Check it out.
Today we're going to be opening the box.
What do you think of the box?
The outer box?
Yeah.
It's very good because it's safe. If you're shooting something, it could be a better patch.
Okay, I lied. I already bought it. I bought it like immediately after I saw it. I spent $400 on this, so please donate to the Thunder Tank Reimbursement Fund today.
I can't help but think of the old proverb, if a man rides around on a children's toy and there's no one there to see it, does it still light up and make shooting noises? Is it still funny if no one's laughing because no one's watching? Perhaps then it is sad. And perhaps that's why I'm sad, because I feel like people don't appreciate me. Though maybe that's just because they don't know I'm out there, driving this tiny tank. And maybe that's because I don't know how to promote videos, that I'm expected to be a Swiss Army knife, when all I can do is try my best to look stupid on camera. Maybe there isn't an audience out there for that, but maybe there is, and I want to find out. That's why I invested a lot of time and money making 2 hours and 10 minutes of stuff all by myself, in the hopes that one day I could afford to move out of my dad's house. And I realize I can't make that modest dream come true as an army of one. So I'm asking for help, because it doesn't take a village. It takes an entire military-industrial complex.
And I broke it. Anyway, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Hillary Clinton's emails. Obtained exclusively by me, these explosive emails will send shockwaves throughout the political world. Get ready to have your mind blown.
Dear John Podesta, have you heard of this comedian named Alex Traynor? He's my favorite.
Yes, I have. Some people might not like his wordplay, but I think it's pizza great.
What I enjoy about him is I'm never quite sure if it's funny or not.
Exactly. He's not afraid to enter a death spiral of meta that most audiences would find off-putting.
By the way, I'm a pedophile.
Well, that's it! This has been the Alex Traynor Basement Telethon! Hopefully now you understand that if you like these and want to watch more, you gotta pitch in, because I can't do it alone anymore. So it's up to you. You are responsible. Yes, you. So please help me. For the love of God, please help me.
When you think of someone from Connecticut, you get the image in your head.
All right, yeah, I had to share some of my Alex Traynor videos there. It always cheers me up. Always makes me smile and laugh, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Oh, I think I'm gonna sign off. I know I usually, sometimes go longer than this, but it's been been about like at least 3.5 hours of actual streaming. So I am gonna go rest. I'm gonna get up in the morning or stay up. I'm not sure. And watch the Assange court case. So I hope you guys all catch up with that in the morning. There's some really great networks that are covering it, indie media, positive vibes out there to, Assange and his family. I do know that we can get I have his address if you guys want to send him a letter or anything like that. I guess they're saying like if you send it soon, you could get it there before Christmas. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling. I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming and hanging out, and please make sure you hit that like button for me. I know. Everybody says that. And there's going to be some really, really awesome things happening very soon that I'm just like, I can't wait to tell you guys, and I'm not allowed to tell you yet. So we will see you all very soon. Be well, fam. Much love. Whoop.